T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Not the episode. That's the episode. Trap Talk Reptile Network, coolest reptile network in the world. Episode 569, the Kahl Hoffman Part 2 episode. We're in for you guys are in for a treat, man, because I got a couple homies with me on this Part 2 of Kahl Hoffman, and they're definitely recognizable faces. Big E Top G in the building, Villarino Reptiles, and the cheesehead of all cheeseheads, Dave Levison. And of course, Dave, you threw that uniform on right before we went live. I was not expecting that.
Just for that. I did that for you, man. I wanted you shock and awe, man. Shock and awe.
What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing? Good to have you guys back.
What's up?
Doing good.
Emil, you look like you're ready to jump somebody. What's going on?
Going straight out of Compton in this bitch.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Did you listen carefully to what Kyle had to say on?
Because I love puzzle. Nah, man.
Whoa.
Hey, listen, Kyle. I want y'all to know right now. First off, I love puzzle. Second, I love Kyle, man. Kyle's that real G.
Yeah,
like,
keeps it
I
real.
want to hang out with him at a show.
For sure. And mind you, and Dave, Kyle had quite the words to say about you in the beginning of last episode. One of those, he shared this story about you guys road tripping together. And he said about like one of the best things you could ever have experience-wise with Dave Levison is being in a car with him, road tripping, and hearing the stories you have to say. And bro, I had my road trip with you to the Pomona, and the stories what we even talked about within that hour and a half were definitely iconic. So he wasn't wrong about that, and I'm just happy that you're here tonight, Dave.
Me too. I told you when I saw you had Kyle on here, and I wasn't here before, I was a little jealous. So I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, man. And listen, I couldn't do this without having you guys here because at the end of the day, there are some projects out there that, you stand tall on, obviously, Emilio, and you have projects, Dave, that you've had feelings about, for years now. You talk about genetics that have been around the game for like decades, and now people are just now kind of seeing what these genetics could actually do for these ball python projects. But overall, Dave, are you excited about anything that's going on in the ball python game right now that people maybe don't know about?
Tell you the truth, I'm just excited about how the standard is way the fuck up here now. I was even talking Desert Ghost Clown the other day with a couple guys, and even now it seems like Desert Ghost Clown is like last year. Now it's Desert Ghost Clown Hypo, Desert Ghost Clown Sunset. I think we just raised the bar, and I like that. I think we got some good years ahead on a lot of projects.
Dave, dog, the other day, one of the homies in the chat, Brock, was telling me there was 145 Desert Ghost Clowns on fucking Morph Market.
Well, I didn't say it was a good thing. There are a lot up there right now.
I know. I'm just saying that shit blew my mind.
Wait, so 150 double visuals? Is what you're saying? Wow.
Yeah.
That blew my fucking mind.
So, I don't listen to my old stuff, but I did a podcast about 4 years ago and we talked about this. And one of the comments that I made 4 years ago is Desert Ghost and Clown both came out in the 90s. Most collections had them in them. Most people only paid a couple $100 to have those animals. And as soon as they became relevant at a double visual, every Joe Schmo could make double hets on the spot. And that's what drove that market down.
Yeah. But like you've seen, and both of you guys seen throughout the years, this is expected, right? If this many people get into that same project, this is bound to happen every single time. And it's it's not like we're coming to any dead end projects with DG Clown. There's so many different directions. And we talk about Exantic, Hypo, so many different things that we're yet to see in that combo. But either way, it's really up to you what you like if you hatch a visual DG clown, you better have a good plan with it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If that was your goal to hit DG clowns and that's it, well then God bless you. It's like you have to start over again. You know what I mean?
You
Yeah.
you better have your plan, because bro, let me tell you, for something like Dreamsicle, right?
Yeah.
There's 150 Dreamsicles on Morph Market.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Think about how long Dreamsicle's been around, and DG Clown. I know DG Clown's been around a long time, but it was the flavor of the last couple of years. There's almost as much DG Clowns as Dreamsicles. That's fucking wild.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think one thing that I think we're all going to learn really fast in this hobby is when we all do the same thing, it's going to drive the price down a lot faster too. And I think that's one thing we're running into at the moment. People are going to have to get a little more creative and think outside the box on these pairings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's take care of business tonight. Dave, what do you have to say about people who support US Arc and people who should be supporting US Arc?
It's a good feeling to do a good thing, guys. Honestly, I'm already thinking about what my donations are going to be for the March Tinley. I got a couple good ideas, and I'm not going to wait till last minute. Don't slack. That's it.
Yep, very true to that. And I just want to say shout out to anyone out there who's supporting US Arc already. And if you can't financially support US Arc, at least talk about it, especially if you're one of those who have a podcast or a social media presence. Please spread the word on US Arc. These numbers do really matter. So shout out to you, man, if you support US Arc or US Arc Florida. And then I'm looking forward to the Reptile Super Show, January 11th and 12th. I will be vending. And I'm going to spill the beans because Emilio's on the show. But, dude, Emilio Villarino Reptiles will be making his debut appearance at a Reptile Super Show.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
How do you feel about that, Emilio? That's pretty heavy.
I'm excited, bro. It's a flex to do a West Coast show. It's gonna be my first out-of-state show, and it's gonna be in fucking Cali.
Damn.
Wow.
Yep. And Dave, what are your plans going into next year in shows? Like, period. I don't know what your schedule's like next year, but you plan on making any big shows, like especially on the West Coast?
I'm going to look at him, man. Honestly, I'm going to talk to Junior and get his schedule for next year. I think I'm going to start maybe heading out to a couple shows with him just for fun.
If I fly out to Trap Fest and you can stay at my house this time, will you come?
I never say no to charity, buddy.
All right, guys. Make sure you guys get ready for, again, Reptile Super Show, January 11th and 12th. Shout out to Rami, who throws an amazing show, and the entire Reptile Super Show family. And shout out to the Chipper, #1 substrate in the game. Go to cocodoo.com. In the promo code, type in TrapFam24 and get 24% off the entire order. Last but not least, shout out to Clutch, #1 organization app in the ball python game. Come in right, come in organized, cutting edge. This is the way to go. Color-coded labeling for all your projects. And shout out to Clutch and the entire team, Sebastian, Justin, and Summer. If I'm missing anyone, I'm sorry, but shout out to Clutch. All the sponsors I have, you can check them out in the link in the description below. But fellas, Kyle Hoffman, first and foremost, how do you feel about tonight's guest, Dave? Before we drop in Kyle, what are your overall thoughts about Kyle Hoffman? Because I know you've been around the game a long time and you know Kyle. So let's hear about it.
Well, it's not even that I've been around for a while. I've been around Kyle for a long time. Back in the day when I sat out in the lobby at Tinley till 2 a.m, he was always one of those guys that was still out there pretty late at night. So I'd say all through like the mid 2000s, early teens, spent a lot of time in that lobby with Kyle.
So he's like he stands pretty tall in what he says from what you know about him, or because he has strong opinions on certain things and he does let loose. I don't know how he's gonna be with you dressed like this, right? He might be intimidated right now, but
he's gonna feel right at home with me wearing all this. Yeah, Kyle's opinions are Kyle's opinions, and I like Kyle's opinions because I enjoy opinions. Kyle's invested into a lot of projects since I know him. He's invested high. He's been around. He's been relevant. Some people know him. Some people don't. Honestly, I like Kyle a lot, and he's been putting out some good animals for a very long time.
And that's something you can't take away from somebody. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, okay, the person has strong opinions, but if he has extent work into a hobby like this and he shows it, God bless. I mean, dude, he kind of has a right to kind of speak on certain things. And not that no one else's opinion matters, but when someone has an opinion and they have work behind it, it just changes the dynamic a little bit. And I know Kyle has really good projects, and he's been in the game for a while, like I said. So it's going to be a good episode. You guys ready to bring him on or what? Okay, what's up? Well, Big, you got to say something. What's up?
You want to know what I love about Kyle?
Tell me.
He's a bigger ball python nerd than me.
All right.
That motherfucker is like deep, like a super ball python nerd. I love that shit because I am also a ball python nerd.
I like how you accept that and own that. That's a lot of balls of
I
you.
own it. That's right.
I'm just kidding. I love you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Well, listen, I got 2 big-time ball python nerds on the screen. We're going to add a third one. I'm just here with my popcorn. I'm just going to have a good time. But it's going down, guys. You ready to bring Kyle on or what? And I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I can't say I'm not a ball python nerd. I'm also really tapped in, okay? I'm also obsessed over the ball python game, especially when I got people very relevant sitting on the screen with me. But it's that time, guys. Do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. Episode 569. Dave, I brought you for the right number, right? 69.
Hot, buddy. Hot. We need a 5th guy in here.
Oh, shit. Kyle Hoffman part 2 episode coming at you right now. Let's go. Cheers.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes,
Tell me.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crowd, God love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
And we're live, episode 569 with Kyle Hoffman. Hey, Kyle, welcome to the fucking Thunderdome, motherfucker.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, buddy? Good to have you back.
Hey,
Not
bud.
much.
Hey, okay, hold on. Can we get right to it? What kind of day did you have today, Kyle? Because people kind of have to give you a little bit of a break, and you should like let some steam out. So
Wake
let's
up
hear-
at 5 a.m., drive 3 hours, don't meet someone for 3 hours to deliver rats and a snake, and just get time wasted and barely get here. I got clutch females on eggs upstairs because I didn't have time to even. They were still laying when I left, so I don't have time to take them off. I had to come on here. You know,
Damn.
I mean,
Whoa.
You'll be okay.
So-
You'll be good.
you know, I mean, I don't like leaving them over 24 hours. If I'm gone, that's one thing. I'll put them in a bigger container,
Yeah.
but I use the things to put them on. So usually I peel them all apart, and you got to do that right. You know, I like to do it right away.
I think the longest I've ever gone, I think, with a girl on eggs was 3 days because I was traveling. I was at Tinley or something like that, and they all hatched out. But yeah, thank you for being here. And man, I mean, it definitely is annoying to have to drive 3 hours and then have someone not being there ready to go. I mean, I would fucking be I would be so pissed.
Oh, dude, hey man, it's not the first time. It won't be the last time. I mean, like, and I'm the type of person like, man, I'm gonna hustle. I want to get that money, so I'm
yeah,
waiting.
and
you
you want to
know,
get those
But,
rats
hey,
off.
I gotta ask, what's that dude's excuse for leaving you fucking stranded?
Didn't really say nothing. Oh, I had other things to do, you know.
Oh.
And it's just like, you know.
Wow.
But I mean, the problem is when it's $500-800, you know. I mean, I got to make it work, you know.
I mean, unloading all that and putting it back, fuck that shit. You're already in too deep.
Rodents are really a pain. But I have bigger containers that I just throw them all in. So I put them in the back of the truck, and I got a tonneau cover that I, you know. And as long as it's not cold, it's not like crazy cold, or it's not crazy hot, they're fine.
I saw, Facebook be showing you some fucked up reels sometimes. And I saw this reel of like a semi carrying a bunch of cows that like tipped over. You just see the cow slide. I just can't imagine like a
Oh,
truck
man.
full of rats that get hit.
Well, oh man, you
That'd be
know,
nuts.
I can't
Imagine that.
either, man. I mean,
But
that'd
listen,
be pretty crazy.
good to have you back. There's some topics we got to revisit here. As far as what we spoke about last 2 weeks ago or about a week ago, I don't know. It wasn't long ago, man, but it was a great episode. But obviously Emilio wasn't too happy about you saying fuck puzzle. So I want to start from there, man. Did you really mean that? Fuck puzzle? You still mean that?
I look at it like this, okay? The puzzle project, I had some. I sold it all.
Yeah. So
and it's not that I'm hating on it because I don't have it. I'm hating on it because I see with Cryptic or Krypton, you can almost do the exact same thing. If you look, I was going to screenshot Krypton pieds and puzzle pieds and put them in a thing where you can see them right next to each other and you can't even see the difference in the two.
My G.
So even and then also with it not being able to I'm gonna say it like I want to say it. So I think that everybody thinks that the more genes you put into a puzzle clown, the more you're gonna see the gene. I think they're living in a fantasy.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree.
I mean, and some things aren't just meant to be put together. I mean.
Hey, but Kyle, puzzle and pied are not meant for each other either, and neither is Cryptic and Krypton pieds. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I've never. Well, and I've only.
I want to keep the pattern on the puzzle 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
That's me.
If I was working it.
Well, and people, and here's another thing too. I've noticed with I haven't seen too many Krypton pieds. Like I know there's some that are not super high white, but I've noticed that the puzzle pieds are higher white from what I'm seeing.
You got Bob Boo support already, so that's pretty good.
I mean, people can say what they want. I mean, here's the thing: that's the beauty of a ball pythons. You can work with whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I can say fuck puzzle, and I can say whatever I want. If I want to put my foot in my mouth, I can. I just got to live by that. I'm the one that's got to stand up for that.
That's how I feel about Sunset. I know there would be one. I'm a true believer that there's going to be a Sunset that just kind of keeps me quiet for the time being. And
I do love that Ultramel Sunset though.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like I see stuff like that, and I'm a dark guy, but I also like bright red stuff. Like, and if it could just hold its pattern and not go shit brown, we're in a good place. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen some adults out there. I want to say.
Pastel Sunset, dude. I had an adult female, and man, she was nowhere near as dark as a regular one.
Yeah.
We know you love pastel, Kyle.
Well, I mean, we can't. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't love super pastel. I have one super pastel in my collection.
Dude, what did we start, Kyle? First we started the fuck puzzle. Now it's fuck Sunset. Damn.
Hey, me and Dave are here to just push back a little bit. That's all.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
I already gave him my list of pattern mutations. He grilled me the other day on Facebook, and he wants a list of me to grade the pattern mutations. So I did, and I mean. But
are you sad that I'm messaging you, buddy? I'll stop messaging you if it's a hassle.
Opinions, I mean, we can all say whatever we want. We all can have our own opinion, and it is what it is.
Well, here's one thing I want to push back on. Right away, you brought up talking about puzzle and pied. Why the fuck is anybody putting any patterns into a pied? Like, I don't understand any of that. Why make a tri-stripe pied? Why make a clown pied? Why make a puzzle pied?
Yeah, but the clown pied is nice.
Yeah, it's debatable.
Sorry, it's debatable. Nice. Super debatable on that.
It's nice with leopard.
Yeah.
Correct?
I do like a lot of the leopard clown pies I've seen. Most of them don't have a ton of pattern. They're more high white, but they do have that badass head on them that you could manipulate the color of the head. Like an Ultramel leopard clown pied would probably be pretty cool because you'd have that real dark burgundy head, so I mean, we'll see. I mean, I won't have a chance at one this year because I took the easy way out. So
yeah, and by the way, I asked you about that list the other day. The main reason I asked you was a lot of people get burnt out on clown. A lot of newbies get burnt out on clown, and that's one reason I've always thought puzzle could be the next clown. I don't think it'll ever be clown, truthfully, but I think it's the next pattern in the list of recessives.
Yes, I agree.
It's something you can work with. You know, I know that, you know, it's not like monsoon where it's overbearing. You know,
Yeah.
we haven't seen too much of the monsoon in patterns. Like, yeah, the clown and a pied, and I don't know if I've ever seen a pinstripe monsoon. I don't think so.
Remind me, is monsoon the gene that does not want to be with pastel? That's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah, but I did see the monsoon pastel pied as it got bigger, and it looked totally like crap as a baby, and it wasn't like
Not as bad.
not as bad as it got bigger. So with that being said, could that be something that we could work on? You know, to perfect that a little more.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, that's where the ball python game is headed as far as making snakes that age better. Okay. So it's not going to be,
we're not selling adults. We're selling
no,
babies.
but then that's going to
before.
That's going to bring the value. That's going to bring value to the project, though. If you have something to show adults that look fucking just as good as babies, if not better, well, that's going to buy people in more than anything.
Yeah.
By the way, again, I want to shout out Corey. That fucking monsoon clown is so fucking dope.
Corey's gangster. He'll be on the show soon.
I do like that other animal he made too, that super shrapnel clown.
Yeah, that one turned out really nice. That was busy on the pattern.
I thought.
Okay, what's shrapnel? Oh, there's another name for shrapnel, isn't there? I know there is.
Well, we don't know because we could have.
No, I'm just because I've heard shrapnel, but I know it's related to something else. Am I right?
There's a shredder and there's a shrapnel.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit. Shredder is attached to shrapnel?
No.
Oh, God.
Chad Holker stumbled across shrapnel back in the day, and I believe either
had a lemon blast shrapnel. He sold Chad Holker.
That's it. And Chad took that out, made some pastel, lesser shrapnels, lemon or emperor pin shrapnels, and then he kind of drifted away from the project. He did make that three-way shrapnel a few years ago. I think he made a pair of them. That fucked up the pattern a lot more than I thought it would.
Yeah, it did. Yep.
Yeah, so shrapnel's an interesting one.
You guys want to come at me anymore? Or?
Oh,
We're
just starting,
Bob,
bro.
Bob's fucking everything right now.
Yeah, we.
Did Bob say something about voodoo or something? No.
Red Axanthic makes shrapnel basically. Kyle
So-
has a memory of an elephant. Yeah, I know.
Now,
Hey, you're on top of things.
Now, one of the things also, now that, I have Dave a part of this, Dave, puzzle being something that is being called a new clown. Do you think that is something that is a valid statement when people say that, Dave?
Well, here's the thing. I look at it as a valid statement because when I look at the other pattern mutations that are recessive and every collection is going to be built around a recessive pattern, let's say, I don't really get wowed by anything else. I'm putting time into tri-stripe because not a lot's been done. I'm putting time into paint, but paint's a very difficult one to combo out. You can make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
The only other pattern is puzzle, in my opinion.
I did see a badass puzzle recently. I'll admit that.
Was
That was after I even said that on the show. I'm like,
me too. Was that the one Miguel? Is that the one Miguel showed? Is that the one Miguel showed? Are you talking about that one?
No.
Oh, which one are you talking about?
I saw a banana hurricane puzzle on
Yes.
Facebook, and
who has that?
Aaron Han. I forgot his real name, but I sold him animals. He's in Taiwan. That snake was badass.
Where'd you see it at?
Facebook.
Damn.
It was in the puzzle breeder group.
I think I might have seen it.
Oh, dude, I thought it was cool. I mean, especially if you put like an Axanthic DG in that with Hurricane and the puzzle. Oh man, it's gonna be cool.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. The ball python nerd's coming out.
I mean, well,
man.
Maybe I should shut my mouth and quit giving other people ideas. I do that enough.
Yeah. If I can't do it, I'll give the idea away. No, I just think there's a little bit of excitement with puzzle. Like I said, I'm not necessarily burnt out on clown. I'll never say that because
real quick,
Bob's in it.
Bob, real quick, Bob said something in the chat. Kyle remembers every snake he's ever seen. I want to ask all three of you and Bob in the chat.
Rain Man.
Do you guys, we take care of each snake so long before we ship it and whatnot. Yo, I could tell you guys that when I see a snake, I remember the pattern and I remember that snake.
Yeah, good
How about
memory.
you guys?
I can see a snake that someone had on Morph Market, and 3 years later, when it's an adult sitting in someone's rack, I can remember where they bought it from, what the price was,
Nice.
everything.
This motherfucker took it to another level right now.
Dude, I ain't even playing. Like it's just something, you know. Like I've been to a few people's places too. Like I can unless they move shit, if they leave their snakes where they are, I could go there a year later and I could tell you where their snakes are, where certain snakes are that are in their collections, in their racks.
Shit, I'm here talking about snakes I produced, and
Very.
you're talking about other people's shit. Like, bro,
Yeah.
you took it to another level.
I mean, it just something. I don't know.
One of his
you
special
know,
powers, bro. He has a lot of special powers.
like,
I think
can't
it's
help
called
it, you know?
it's called autism, buddy. I got it too.
Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. You know,
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
High functioning autism, buddy.
yeah.
ball pythons is like my thing. You know, I've always had reptiles. I mean, a few years ago, I saw a painted turtle on the road smashed, and it was laying season. Well, she was still alive, and she was like all mangled up, shell all smashed, guts hanging out. I cut the eggs out of her, and I hatched those damn things.
Damn.
That's tight.
What a
You know, I
story.
pushed them out because I knew she was gonna die anyways.
That's
So I'm
why
like, you know what? Let's try it. And
That's
it
why
worked.
that's why the ball guys take care of your ass, bro. Right
You know,
there.
I mean, I do all kinds of shit like that. You know, one time I had like 300-400 turtle eggs, wild ones that I collected, and I just hatch them and let them loose because I've literally seen hundreds and hundreds of nests over the last few years. Just
Right.
the raccoons and everything just ransack them.
Hey, let's get back to some ball python talk here. No offense. I gotta say, one of the first comments on your episode last week was like, you know, somebody said you kind of have a lot of nerve to talk about like how people go at pastel and, you know, defending pastel, then going into saying fuck puzzle. So I
Yeah, but I'll just say whatever the hell I want. If you don't like it, nobody's forcing you to listen. I mean, really,
funny.
think about it that way.
Hey,
Nobody's
but it was
forcing
funny.
you. Hey,
It was
hey,
funny.
listen. I'll tell the story now. I don't even know if I told you on the phone when you called me that day. My cousin was saying a bunch of stuff at the family Thanksgiving we just had. A girl, I was telling her all about the snakes. So then my cousin, that's a guy, said, "Oh yeah, you know." The girl's like, "Oh, thanks for teaching me all that stuff about the snakes." So then he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I could give a shit less about those gosh damn snakes. You know, fuck those snakes." So I'm just like, and I told my mom, I said, "Yeah," I said, "You know what?" I told him, I said, "You know, but man, at least I ain't gotta wait. At least when I want to wake up every day, at least I ain't gotta be somebody else's bitch answering what they got, telling me what to do all the time." And I told my mom, I said, "I'll never go to another freaking Thanksgiving or holiday ever again." I said, because I'm gonna go over the table on somebody. It's already happened.
Hey,
Hey, it's already happened. I already pounded the hell out of somebody at one of my family things because they just they needle you, and they don't leave you alone. And you know what? Sooner or later, that demon comes out. You can't take it no more.
Tiger gets out of the cage, bro. You don't want that to happen. It's happened on this show before. It's almost happening now, I think.
Oh, not even close.
Fuck those snakes.
Dave, your cheese looks like it's melting. Say something.
It's because it's old, buddy. I've had this thing for 20 years.
Emilio, though, I mean, listen, you still had a lot of feelings after watching Kyle's episode, so let's kind of get to some topics.
To me, it's simple. Like, big dog, you're one of my friends now in this industry, but you're defending Pastel and Lesser, and then
Pastel and Lesser does not go
wait,
together either.
Let me finish. And then you said fuck puzzle. I'm like,
how does that compute? And mind you, it's okay.
Have
your opinion.
I could say something, but I better hold back on that.
Say it. No, you gotta say it now.
bro.
Say it, bro.
No, I was just gonna say, you know,
Dave's here.
One way.
Yes.
Someday, like, man, they're all gonna be pets. I mean,
yes.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
at one point,
you know, I mean,
except
like I
sounds
talked about the factory farming and the family farming.
Did
you know,
you hear about the Kahl analogy that he did, Dave? Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Can you repeat what you said from the first episode that we had last week about you're comparing ball python market to the Kahl breeding. Can you say that again?
Okay, Dave, I kind of compared the two. Like I said, factory farming and family farming. I said I grew up in Wisconsin my whole life. So when I was a kid, there was all kinds of little family mom and pop farms, you know, that had like 70, 80 cows. Well, they're going out of business now because the bigger factory farms are putting up these freestall barns and they're guaranteeing the milk, the cheese plants and these other dairy places, they're guaranteeing them so much volume at a certain price and they sign contracts. So what that did was it forced out all the family farms. And I kind of said, you know, here's the thing. These big breeders, they could literally they got so much inventory, they could just force everything down. And then what's the little guy going to be able to do?
Well, I think there's a lot of truth there.
I mean, that's always been though, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's just the war of the world. I mean, like the way of the world. I mean, like look at the box stores, you know, like my friend's dad had a hardware store and now he's shut down because of Home Depot and Lowe's and Menards, you know. I mean, it just...
So I don't think anybody on a big scale can be creative though. I think there's limitations there. I think in mass producing, it's not a thing.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, and this is not a negative in any means, but you know, I had a few people send me screenshots of like wholesale groups of double het for Clown Desert Ghost this weekend.
Oh yeah, like I saw them $90 a piece or something.
Yeah, like $94 a piece. And now that's your example of a large company that has a high demand animal and can produce as much as they want.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm not really in DG a lot. I like it, but I just, you know, that's one thing too. You know, too many projects you can't really get like where you want to really go, or if you really want to see something, or if you really want to produce a cool animal that you can be noticed for, you got to really kind of tighten your projects up too.
Yeah, but your collection's kind of prime for Desert Ghost because you've been working hypo for 10, 15, 20 years.
Right. And hypo's on the up.
Yeah, I know. I have a ton of hypo, different combos and clowns and pieds and
nice ass shit too, Kyle. We'll say.
You know, I mean,
really good hypo, bro.
I just had a badass ovulation from a hypo clown female.
To what? What'd you pair it to?
A red stripe confusion yellow belly GHI het clown to make hets.
That's tight.
Yeah.
He's got some badass TG shit coming too.
Oh yeah. I got a clutch today.
Now, I mean, here's the thing about clowns. Go ahead.
Real quick, that's what you were mentioning, the big boxes, these all big companies. They ain't fucking with you, bro, because you got that next layer coming. You're continuously getting better. That's what we have to do.
The odds, though, too, like, to be honest with you, I don't want to breed triple hets. I have some now in my collection that are adults, but like I don't want to breed triple het to triple het. I'd rather raise up females and let them sit in my racks and wait for the right male than to try to breed and get the odds from triple het to triple het because, man.
But what if you hit?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because
I know. Look at Mark Bailey. He's got the golden horseshoe.
He did that twice, bro. Back-to-back years, he hit, and this time, I think this year he hit 2 of them.
Yes. He sent me a picture this week.
Come on, bro. How you gonna say not? How are you gonna say not go triple het to triple het? And that's on the same pairing too, bro.
Because I get my I get my ass handed to me on pairings like that. Like it's so bad. I mean, I bred a hypo enchi pied het clown to a hypo enchi clown pied triple, and I got 0.
Now that said, Kyle, I'm gonna push back a little bit. I understand what you're saying fully. Especially if you have a better male coming. But let's say you breed quad hets, right? And what you're saying, no one's talking about. No one's talking about the fucking odds, okay? But that said, bro, the byproduct, some of it's going to be really good on quad hets.
I don't want to mention the person's name, but they literally bred like a quad het to, I don't know what they bred. They might have bred like a quad het male to like a double visual female or something like that. And they got like, man... They got like 3 double visuals, double hets.
Yeah, bro.
You know, from
Powerful,
shed
man.
testing.
You gotta
And
roll. You gotta roll the dice, bro.
So why
Man,
why wouldn't you want to say this person's name? Like I mean, you're kind of doing them
I
a
just,
service
you know,
right
I
doing
mean,
that.
I don't know if they want the information out there.
Oh, so they didn't post it and like
No.
so they told you about it
No.
over the phone.
Yeah, it was in a private message.
Got you. Okay, that's
You
what's
know,
up.
so like, I mean,
Good on you.
Man, I've raised up so many possible hets and all that kind of thing. I mean, sometimes you
love
win,
it.
sometimes you lose.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, the way I look at it too is because obviously, especially right now, I feel like a lot of people like the whole value of hets is kind of going over people's heads because you could get cheap visual shit right now too. Like everything's cheap right now. But I've had some shit out that looks so pretty. That is obviously 100% double het to where I mean, to me, I look at it as a visual. Like to me, it's a visual. So I raise it up and just in my head, I look at that as a visual, even though the odds aren't what a visual would give me, but still, like all I need is that one or two. You know what I'm saying? And then, like Emilio and Dave said, like there's gonna be gems behind those that maybe not even are visuals, but they look fucking gorgeous. You know what I mean? And so, you know, but then shed testing comes into play too. And I gotta say, man, fuck, like you want to talk about overhead, bro? Like if you're already kind of like walking a tightrope, getting the sheds, like even though it sounds like such an easy task, it could be a pain in the ass if you don't have a good system. I'll tell you that much. So I'm trying to get my shed game up because the ones I had backed up ready to go went bad somehow, and I'm really upset about it. So now I have to like start over with what I want tested.
Yeah,
I haven't sent any in yet, not a one.
Yeah, you know, this
shout
year,
to RGI, by the way. Shout out to the sponsor.
This year for animals that I needed tested immediately, I didn't let them shed in groups anymore. I set them up in individual tubs, marked up everything, got that shit immediately, bagged it up, got it ready.
Yeah, right away. I think the first one is what it's about. Like, hurry up and get that thing tested because if you wait, and it's just going to get harder.
Yep.
I've heard rumors that first shed test or that first shed isn't always 100, not 100%, but inaccurate.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how all first sheds on a ball python, no matter what morph it is, they're all clear?
I didn't realize that.
I didn't think of that.
Okay, look at them. Yeah, they're all clear. It don't matter what it is. Every baby, first shed is a clear shed.
Mark Bailey told me that a way you could tell if something's hypo is in the shed. Is that true or false?
Yeah.
As like an adult, they have a clear shed. Like you can't see the pattern.
No pattern in a hypo.
Yeah.
But you're saying as babies, they all have. I don't know. No, I don't. I mean,
But
maybe you're
but
right.
as
You could
babies,
be right.
like
I've been paying attention.
the first shed, the original first shed, all babies shed clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that said, even if it's clear, it has the genetic makeup in the shed.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that's what matters. Yeah, it's in the skin. It's in the actual shed.
Yeah, Kyle, you scared me there for a minute, bro. I'm like, fuck, I just sent 10 sheds this week.
Well, no, Dave's the one that said that the first one could be faulty, but
all right.
Yeah. But very instrumental, man, these shed testings. I feel like this is what's going to speed everything up that we're talking about now. But is that a good thing or bad thing? Let's talk about that. Should the ball python game have something that speeds it up?
There's good things to the shed testing, I think, but there's also bad things to the shed testing. The thing I relate to the shed testing as a bad thing is people can buy lower end animals and they can breed these animals, shed test them, and basically they can sell them cheaper too because they don't have as much money invested into that.
I mean, what do you guys have to say to that?
I don't think you're wrong, and I've been talking about it too for a long time. It's really an advantage for the little guy who could go out and buy a cheap triple head or cheap quad head, take it home to his collection and put it through his Codom stuff, test everything, and suddenly be in the game with everybody else.
Making all kinds of crazy quad heads, you're right, with Codoms.
Still got to hit the odds though, right? So
yeah. Well, that's even like some people I've talked to, they think like Codoms, when you're breeding like a multi-gene recessive, they don't think like the Codoms affect everything, but they do. Because I bred with that Ultramel clown pied stuff. Okay, I have an OD leopard clown pied het Ultramel male. To breed that to a triple het, it's a 1 in 64 chances to get the one with no genes or the one with all the genes. If you breed a clown ultramel clown het pied to a triple head, it's only a 1 in 16, and you can always put the codom genes in after you get those triples.
What do you mean by put it in after? Like after you make it, then you could breed it to some codoms, is what you're saying?
Yeah, like a visual codom combo, and then you have, then you don't make triple heads.
He sounds kind of like what I advocate sometimes.
Yeah.
But that said, if I have the animal with the codoms, I'm going that route, as well. There's no wrong way,
Yeah.
The way I look at it is, if you want to be anything that's like relevant and ahead of projects, you have to use the shed testing. Like that's because it's only going to benefit what you can hold back and what you're going to be raising up. And mind you, I like the gambling aspect of it. Like I like the shock value of things sometimes, but then when we talk about raising something for males a year at least, and then we talk about females about 3 years for me. That's a long time. You know what I'm saying?
But there ain't nothing more awesome than like raising that animal up and not knowing, and then all of a sudden it's a surprise and it proves.
But what if you have 6 of them? You're gonna keep back all 6 of them?
Kyle,
no.
I will say this.
I'm using the bathroom. Keep it going.
All 3 of us here. I got 20 years, going on 20 in October. Dave, you got about 24.
About 22, 23.
23. Kyle, you got 20.
Something around 2001, 2002 is when I got my first snakes.
You got more than both of us. All right, listen, bro. You're my dog, but we have to change that thinking. Yes, it made all of us visually really good at what we do. Picking heads. Like, bro, I could pick heads 8 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times. We are always going to be good at that. The people coming behind us are not gonna get that. They're not gonna become pros because of the shed testing. But, bro, raising a bunch of animals without shed testing now is dumb as fuck to me, bro.
Yeah, or you gotta guarantee your pairings where you don't,
Yes.
You gotta make if you want, you have to have bigger money to invest then at that point if you don't want to make animals to shed test.
Yeah. Dave, the days of pos heads are over without shed testing, correct?
No, the days are over if you want to spend a few dollars. And in all honesty, we're like you said, we're getting old, buddy. I don't have time to waste any time on these pos heads to hope for the best. I'd rather just know at this point.
You're right.
And what it's going to cost to raise the animal.
But here's another thing, though, too. When you breed, so I bred like a pastel chocolate. It was a pastel chocolate hypo het ultramel. I bred it to a pastel lesser leopard double het. So even if I don't hit on, if I hit a badass visual that isn't like a hypo ultramel, but I still hit like a crazy combo ultramel, I'm probably going to want to keep that animal anyways.
No, I get that.
Whether it's a head or not, you might want to keep, you might want to keep it anyways.
Dave, what did you do, Dave? Why is he frozen and it looks like fucking...
Do you not see me? Am I not here? Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Sorry, you look frozen.
I had to go really close to the screen because I'm like, man, has he got one of those Harley thing wraparound things on, or are those actually?
Oh, like the mask? No, that's his beard.
No, that's my face, buddy. That's my whole fucking face.
Yo, so this next generation, right? That's coming. Here's us talking about how we raise pos heads and we'll pick them out and all this. They're gonna think we're cavemen, bro. We need to evolve with the times.
Yeah.
Here's a good example in all honesty. So I was standing in front of Chad's table at Daytona, and he had all his animals out. A bunch of DG combos, some hypo combos, some clown combos. He had just got his email in after he tested all his sheds. He changed all his labels over, put another $1,000 on every one of the animals. Then he knew what it was.
Yeah.
Worth having, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing. I talked to him when he was doing all that, and man, he brought the value of his animals way up by shed testing because he got so many that proved out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was some cool stuff too.
Yeah.
It's
like Emilio says, man, the things that we could usually get away with doing, like, selling pos heads, not kind of doing stuff that is more of the more common approach, like just making a package looks good when you like we have to be ahead of the times now, you know what I'm saying? Using shed testing and even talking about like organization apps, like looking like you're that much, like you're taking it that much more serious than the next person. And I feel like that's kind of like the more appealing thing right now.
You know, like even like you guys have like Husbandry Pro or any of those programs?
We don't talk about that on. I'm just kidding. No, nothing against that app, but we're not.
Well,
talking
no,
about
any
It's
of
called
the
Clutch, buddy. It's called Clutch.
It's called Clutch.
any
Kahl?
of it. Do we
Talk about Clutch. Yeah, do
you
it.
guys have any of it?
I'm waiting for the chondros. Once they have chondros, I'm hopping on board. I have it. I'm not updating it. Like it's.
I will say this. Okay, I don't have it yet, but the investment side of my collection, I'm going to eventually put it all into Clutch because we're gonna have to.
Miguel
bro.
just did. Yeah.
We're gonna have to.
See, I don't know. Like, man, I'm like the old school, like Mark Bailey with the notebook and the.
Oh, I love
masking
that.
tape
I'm
and,
always gonna do that.
like-
I'm always gonna do that.
Yeah.
You gotta do both.
But I'm gonna do Clutch as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's
It's
another
like
thing,
it's
though,
like a
too.
resume, bro. It looks great. You know what I'm
The
saying?
thing about that though, like, okay, so like me being like a one-man show here, it's hard to do like all like a YouTube, like, you know, all these things.
Why don't you
like,
go partner up with Mark Bailey? You two come out of the woods and you guys fucking do something. Damn it!
I mean,
Guys,
Damn. You
guess
guys
what?
drive me nuts. You and Mark.
Guys, guess what? That's gonna be the next box that has to be checked off. There's gonna be sales on Clutch eventually one day, right? So that's another avenue of potentially selling your animals. We have to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know. So
You just got to keep up with the times, man. Things are changing in the hobby. You can't be stubborn at this point. It's just everything's moving too fast.
yeah,
I mean,
bro.
and it's not gonna slow. It doesn't slow down. That's the thing. Like with all this
Life
stuff
is
coming
beat.
out, it's coming quick, dude. And the thing is, like, you just don't. It's easy to be left behind if you're not on top of your shit in the ball python game.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a lot of people who kind of lollygagged, and they're the reason why they're just selling their collection right now. They didn't keep up.
Or like more guaranteed pairings, you know, like that's another thing. I'm trying not to make like, you know, some of this stuff with the odds. I'm trying not to put 20 million genes in there, you know, and then the thing is too, like you're getting animals that don't look that good too. You know, sometimes
But
less
that's
is-
kind of that's on the chef. That's the one cooking it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of what you have to figure out as you're working projects. Some things aren't always going to look good together. You know what I mean? But that's why it's important to do the homework on the incomplete dominant you're working on, especially right now. There's so many examples out there right now already on what's working and what's not. And if you want to go ahead and try to do a one-off shit that not many people are doing, well, then expect to make some ugly shit. But then sometimes it goes in your favor too. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing about so many people working incomplete dominance, which they should be into recessives, is they are making shit they can't ID. Okay. And what's kind of discredit somebody, and I hate to say this, but you have somebody who works so hard on a social media presence and a vlogging, going on podcasting, but then they put themselves in a higher tier breeding department in the ball python game, and they're trying to sell shit that they don't really understand that is in their snake. You know what I'm saying? And that's because you can't speed up the experience. Like you can speed up the things you make, but how do you really know what you're looking at if you haven't seen all the examples it normally takes to get to that end result? That's another thing with shed testing. God bless it, right? But it could put you in a realm that you're not ready for. Like it could put you in a like category where you're like, motherfucker,
you're having to shed test everything then.
I mean,
everything.
yeah,
Bro, hey, most people out there can't ID for shit. Shed testing is a godsend to these guys.
I will say ID
Yes.
is hard, just so you guys know. Like, I don't want to come off like, oh, if you can't ID your shit, you're a fucking clown. No, dude. Even the top tier motherfucker.
You just have to put
need
that
help.
clause in when you're selling. You know, you can't guarantee these codom genes. This is what you think it is, but you can't guarantee
Okay,
that.
I got something to say. I want to ask all you guys a question. Why would some people be embarrassed that they got help getting IDs on certain things? Like, why do you think some like a bigger breeder would be offended by that? Any of you guys have anything to say about that? Like I personally would be like, dude, I got helped and it's fucking thank God and this is what it is. But why do you feel like some people don't want to admit that they're getting help with certain IDs?
But at the end of the day, shed testing could take away all that.
But I'm just saying, why is it so hard to admit for some people?
I don't know.
Some of these guys have Patreon pages, so they're telling people how to ID animals. It'd be silly if you said you didn't know what you were doing.
Hey, listen, to be fair, everyone out there asks for an opinion here and there, bro. Let's be real.
But it's kind of the name of the game, right? Like we all kind of have to have like your circle's everything, right?
Aren't we supposed to help each other? Like, you know, we do have business, but we also we're all in this together because look at the government want to take all of our stuff. If we're not all going to donate to USARK, you know, do our fair share. I mean,
we're definitely in it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Amelia.
There's a reason why a lot of pages have a disclaimer saying they cannot guarantee genetics.
Yeah.
It is extremely hard when you're dealing with 5-6 genes, 4-5-6 genes that are kind of just, I mean, listen.
They're meshing together and you can't see it.
Anyone that's been watching the show knows I'm not a massive stacker. I'm happy at three genes. I'd say 3 or 4 genes.
What do you think about
you didn't want to say 4, but he said
here's the thing too. With that being said, 2 or 3 codom genes on a triple recessive. Like, do you realize how hard that is?
Yeah, it might not look good, bro.
Yeah.
All that work and it might not look good. You better be sure of what the fuck you're doing because of all the work that is involved in making that animal. That's another thing.
See, that's the whole point, though, that's making ball pythons a little more interesting right now is the fact that people are stacking 3 recessives on a project before even putting a codom in.
Yeah.
We're having to push harder now. It's the only way to stay relevant. It's the only way for these things to be worth something if you make it impossible to make them. When you do make them, someone's willing to pay for it.
I did hit like a 1 in 64 and like a 1 in 32 last year, but I didn't breed triple heads. Those were triple recessives with codoms in them, but the pairings allowed me to hit that odds better. But man, I couldn't even imagine breeding like a orange dream triple het hypo clown pied to a triple het hypo clown pied and trying to hit that orange dream hypo clown pied.
Can I ask you guys something about? Oh, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Well, I got shit, man. You keep talking.
Oh, I want to talk about Scrambler. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I saw that shit in person, and it's pretty intense. You know, but and again, we all know it all stems for something. It all comes from something.
But
go ahead. Tell me what you think. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we separate that Scrambler and like see it in its own single form? If it is a gene,
they're trying not to show it, bro. That
Whoa,
shit's bouncing around. That shit's bouncing around in a bunch of collections. Look, I have an animal that the minute a Scrambler test comes out, I have to test it because I think it's Scrambler. It just popped out this year. Scrambler's making everything it touches. It's amplifying it and making it more orange.
See, that's what I did. Okay.
Well, OD did that too at some point, right? It wasn't OD like not being ID'd in a lot of things, and then next you know, like people are like, I have OD in this snake, and I didn't know. Wasn't that almost the same scenario?
I don't know if that went down with Orange Dream. I think Orange Dream was just Orange Dream. I don't remember it outside of Ozzy's collection. I don't know if it was random anywhere else, but he did get it randomly. I think he was over at Outback's place. He was buying a bunch of stuff, and Ian threw an extra animal in the group. It was an Orange Dream.
So
that's where it came from. Yep, that's the story on it. Yep.
But can we explain why people who are working with Scrambler wouldn't want to show what a basic, normal, real Scrambler looks like? You're saying they're purposely not wanting to show it for whatever reason?
I just don't understand. Either they don't know or they don't want to show it.
Or it could be polygenetics where they just breed the same best. Oh, take the best orange dream, best orange dream, best orange dream. I mean, look at how long Orange Dream has been out.
Yeah,
but Kyle, it's also
decades.
Kyle, it's also everything that gene touches. It amplifies everything in the pairing.
Yeah, it affects everything.
Everything. So it's not an OD thing.
That's like a super form type act thing is what you're saying. Yeah. The reason why it's doing that is because it's like a super gravel puts gravel in everything or something like that, right?
No, I mean
it shows it.
It takes each gene like
to a whole other level.
To a whole other level.
Right.
Dave, what do you think?
Well, his poly question, I want to lean into this a little bit. So the high intensity Orange Dream stuff, is that poly related or is that something like added to the project?
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure. Like, I just have Orange Dream. I don't have High Intensity. I don't have Scrambler that I know of. I do have a double Orange Dream Enchi double het lavender pied female that I made a yellow belly dreamsicle Orange Dream, and it like blew everybody else's at the show. Like, I went with like 2 or 3 breeders to like different tables of people with the same animal, and mine looked way different than everybody else's. They're like, that's a super, that's a super. Well, I sold it to a guy and he had it tested. It wasn't a super, but man, it is like neon orange. Way different than the regular Orange Dream Yellow Belly Dreamsicles that you see out here, like as a basic, you know, like we don't see that real amplified orange. I mean, I just want to see the single gene. That's what I want to see. You know, okay, I can bring another one into it. Gene X.
Ooh, I got one. I got something like that. I got from Miguel.
You know, is there have they ever separated the Gene X from the Orange Dream Yellow Belly Pied stuff?
I don't know. I stopped hearing about Gene X. I mean, I don't even know how to ID it, to be honest. And what's crazy is, like, I know the male I have has the Gene X because it looks like nothing like it's ever produced, but it looks really nice. But I couldn't tell you if I could even ID Gene X. I don't.
Yeah, that was actually one thing I liked about Osborne, separating the Sandblast out of Pied and then doing the urban camos. It proved that it could be its own gene to do its own thing, where most people wouldn't have put that work in.
It's all about an interaction, bro. I found Sandblast in my collection. It's all interaction, much like Disco, much like Gray Matter with the Champagne and the Alila combo with the 8 balls.
What about Fader? The Fader gene
that died.
Fader,
hey, I'm gonna tell you
Odium, a lot of that stuff's confusing to me.
Yeah.
That Fader gene, like I can't I can't figure it out, but I noticed that some of the animals that Kevin was labeling as faders, like they are way different, way better than these other ones. You know?
Are you saying Fader or Vader? Like fucking Vader from
like F.
The F word, buddy. The F word.
Damn it! I thought it was Vader. I was like, dude, that name is sick as fuck.
You know the guy that's ball pythons. His ball python era died. You know that guy.
Purple shirt guy?
But man, he's still that guy's still a ball python nerd.
The guy that said ball pythons are dead.
That guy still is a ball python nerd.
Yeah, he's in India kicking it.
That guy still is a ball python nerd at the end of the day.
And we haven't actually really asked Dave the whole, like, listen, and it was a while ago, but obviously there was a well-known figure in the industry who came out on a reel or on a live and said something about the ball python has reached its like peak, and it will never get to that.
Yeah,
it'll never get to the same ever again, and maybe certain eras won't. But what do you have to say to ball pythons already hitting their peak and it's like they've already ran their course, Dave? Publicly, what do you think?
That's dumb. I think every year something new comes out and creates a new direction. I think there's enough new mutations still coming out of Africa and a lot of dinkers that have been proven out from Outback over the last decade.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever a peak. I don't think this market's ever going to be over because it's too big to collapse.
Yeah.
It died for him, bro. It's over for him.
Well,
well, that's an attitude thing, man. If you can't back your product, you're a shitty salesman. You probably shouldn't be doing it anyways. Not really attacking that guy in general, but you don't believe what you're doing, and it's hard to sell the dream, man.
Yeah, it's like getting canceled. You want to be one. You have to accept it and leave. You know what I mean? That's a choice. Like, no, and the thing is, once you are over it, then so is your attitude and everything else. And so
now, real quick, let's dig into why this happened to said breeder. He took his eye off the ball with ball pythons, did not change over his collection, was making 5 and 6 gene snakes that look like mud, and he couldn't even ID them. He would go on videos and say he thinks it's this and thinks it's that and thinks it's that. Bro, when I saw those videos, I said, oh, this guy's done.
I don't know, man, because I still see people post stuff right now in high-end projects saying it could be this, it could be that. And I see that a lot in the monsoon game right now.
Hey, but not like him. It was like really bad. You guys could go look for the videos. It was like really bad, bro.
Well, because I mean, back then it was all stacked incomplete dominance. There was it was all like literally like 7, 8 complete dominance. Because that was kind of like the trend back then. Remember that? Like I came in this game where the more incomplete dominance you have in that snake, the more value it was. It wasn't about recessives. That's when I came in, and so that's when I started buying only incomplete dominance in the beginning, and then I think I had clown right out the get-go, but like I wasn't really focused the way you should have been. But mind you, it's because it was trendy, and this is why I always say don't fucking follow those trends. You gotta be careful.
Well, people wonder why I have all these recessives, and I don't know if I ever told the story. You know, people have always wondered, you know, how did you get this, or how did you do this, or how did you do that? The thing was, when I was starting, I never had that $25,000 to buy the bananas or the lessers, or so I had to start out with albino and pied and hypo, and it just so happened that it took a full circle. You know, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I had no idea.
You know, MJ, you saying trends. I mean, this entire market is literally built on trends.
It is.
We don't know what the next trend's going to be, and whoever the next trendsetter is going to be the guy who's going to capitalize on the money coming into the industry.
Yeah.
And you're right, because it sucks. Like if you're somebody who's trying to get somewhat of ahead in this, you don't want to stick to the trends. Like meaning like you have to figure out another branch to build off this goddamn insane tree full of fucking ball python projects. But that's also why it's kind of fucked up, because you know you want your customers to believe in the trend. Like that's how you get customers, is you build momentum and you start whatever it is that you're doing, you want to become trendy, because that's the whole point of this. And so that's why it's kind of like, man, you know, people who call this a pyramid scheme, I feel like for some people, if you're not careful, it could easily be that. You know what I mean? And that's why you got to have the right heart and the right mentality to be in the ball python game, because if it's all about dollar bills and trends, you're going to be that next sucker. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Or you're just gonna buy up a ton of animals and not really even know what you're doing.
That's what's happening.
Is the right word wherewithal to last? Like to be a Kyle where he built his collection and now he's a standard bearer in the hobby, you know, through his recessives, through not following stacking codoms back in the day. Because me and Kyle, I'd say we didn't follow the trend of stacking codoms. Kyle, am I correct?
No, I never really did. You're exactly right. I never did.
Yeah, I never did that. I was just building my double recessive projects, and much like Kyle, I never put in $25,000 to an animal, bro. I was raising a family. I was building a solid foundation for my future.
But you guys were sitting back watching people going ape shit about incomplete. So you were tapped in. That's what I'm saying. Like you are already knowing what's to come, and that's why you guys held back and didn't do what the majority
I just didn't do it because I didn't have the money to get all those codoms.
So you would have, if you could have, you'd have stacked yourself then back then too. If money was no issue,
I don't know, man. I just thought, man, everybody, like you said, everybody was doing that. Maybe I'll do this.
Hey, I would have liked to sell bananas at 10K.
Damn.
For
sure. I
sure.
bought my first one. I got two. One of them was 18,000, and the other one I did a full trade on it.
And who reaped the biggest benefit off the banana gene? Was it Brock or who was the person to really cash in the biggest on banana? It was
Kevin
Brock.
and Brock.
Kevin and Brock.
Oh, and
Hey,
Dynasty Reptiles.
Oh yeah.
Chun pounded him out, man.
Chun made millions off of bananas, bro.
Damn.
Millions.
Chun made. I remember when I can't remember what the name of it was. Chun had a different company before Dynasty with someone else.
It was a
blue website. It was before
Ball Pythons.
Yeah, it was a blue website, and man, I remember when Chun made pastels when they were $1,500 a piece. He had like 300 of them on that web page.
Yeah, hey, bananas are still the #1 ball python selling in the world. The number
what?
one.
Really? But not pies? It's banana?
It's bananas for sure.
Dude, people go into shows and they see bananas.
Think, bro? I think bananas still sell more than pies.
It's crazy.
Kyle, do you remember that Tinley when Dynasty showed up and I think he bought out an entire row of tables?
Yep,
And like
I remember
GHIs
that.
were like $10,000, bananas were still up there.
Dude, he had like a whole aisle. The whole
Whole
aisle
aisle.
was him.
Yeah, that shit was wild. And here's the thing, man. I watched a lot of breeders walk over and buy GHIs for $10,000 that weekend. So that guy definitely had a good weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. But like, but the odds of something like that happening in something nowadays, do you think that could still be somebody someday to be that person to take up a whole aisle and just have a bunch of fucking ball pythons at that price, or is an era like that no longer?
MJ, Dylan sent that badass banana puzzle in the group chat.
Okay, but can you answer my question?
I
Here's
don't
the
think
thing, you gotta look at the
prices will
big
ever be
boys.
there again, but I think somebody could come there and fill a whole aisle. I mean, Chun could do that right now, even.
He's mainly got bananas only now, right now, bro.
No, he's got more than bananas, man. That guy's always had a pretty diverse collection.
I know, but mainly bananas right now.
Somebody I'd really like to see their collection, and I've sold him a few animals, but he does a lot of basic things, but I can't even imagine what kind of stuff he's got sitting in his racks is Mike Wilbanks.
Mike
Dude, I
Wilbanks
know
has an
he's got
interesting
some
collection.
killer
He's got a lot of
shit
old
over
school
there.
genes that are more relevant now than they were 5-10 years ago. I talked to Jeff a lot. He's always showing off stuff. You know, that collection is definitely one of those collections that still has that old school mentality of stacking codons.
Yeah, but he also has a lot of diversity, I'd say.
Exactly.
I was going to say, I sold him some pretty decent animals, so he does have some triple and quad stuff that he's doing. We just don't see it, you know?
Compared to some of the other big guys in the game, I'd say Mike has diversity that some don't have.
Yeah.
But you know, Wilbanks is like, he goes way back though, right? Like we're talking, like, you know, he was working with Cameron with Bushmaster and other people like that, right?
He worked for Bob Clark.
Oh, that's what it was.
He worked for Bob Clark.
All right.
You know, that's one animal that I would love. I can't get into him because of the size. I just can't handle it. But man, if we could make mini retics and like make 5-foot retics and all the crazy colors,
like real ones,
like
the dwarf retic game, bud, the dwarf retic game that everyone's investing money into. Talking about that.
the super dwarf retics, like those orange ghost stripe, like in a super dwarf, man.
Oh shit.
This is pretty sick. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Damn.
Yeah,
bro.
I messaged him as soon as I seen that. I'm like, man, that is pretty badass.
And you know what? Like I had something for like a while, like kind of feeling bad for Banana because you're just like thinking like, well, great, like when's, well, you know, what's up with Banana? And then Miguel posted some sick banana shit. And then seeing this gives me, you know, I feel a little better about it. You know, this is I don't know, man. Hurricane, bro. I think Hurricane's fucking nuts.
I do have a unique banana pairing that I do have eggs in the incubator. We'll see. I don't know.
I'll tell you guys, I've been raving for a long time about trick puzzles. This is another example. This shit's fucking dope, bro.
I had a pastel trick puzzle I sold.
This looks pastel
when I got out of puzzle.
That is pastel.
Okay.
It's gotta be. Look at that.
Pastel banana hurricane puzzle.
Yo, that shit is dope.
So this might even look better without pastel, maybe.
But
I don't know, because pastel makes the puzzle pattern a lot more wacky.
Yes, Dave's 100% right. Yeah, pastel helps with the pattern.
I wonder what else we could do to make the pattern wacky that isn't pastel. There has to be something like GHI, maybe. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
GHI banana.
GHI is dope. Yeah.
Yeah. But Hurricane,
there hasn't been a whole lot of GHI puzzles made yet. William Philippek, I know he's listening. He was 50 or 60 eggs in, and he still hasn't hit a GHI puzzle yet.
Mad Ball Pythons hit a couple. His cousin hit a couple. They're fucking dope. I'm making hets this year. GHI Mojave hets. Pet puzzles.
I think I'm doing blackhead cinnamon GHI puzzles. Will be the only thing I have going on for the dark game with that stuff.
Yeah, cinnamon and black pastels. Fucking, it's a must as well. Hey,
so I missed the whole conversation about the pastel or lesser, but is the banana in that column now where it's a little more of a throwaway for the investment projects?
I don't say throwaway. It's just not being shown. It's not being worked and being shown a lot. I don't think banana's a throwaway.
Dave, I tell my people in my chat that banana stuff is for pets.
I think it is. I think investors. I mean, I still see Justin putting some nice banana cloud stuff out that he's pushing. That looks really good.
Yeah,
But
Coral Glow, my friend.
yes, Coral Glow. I'm sorry.
I can't even.
I'm so sorry. Have they done the shed test for Coral Glow and banana so we can just like decide?
Yes, Dave, I'm just fucking with you, bro. To me, obviously the same shit, But
I went super hard on Coral Glow the other episode just because I don't like that name compared to banana. Banana's OG to me. And then the other day, Miguel shows a story of banana, but he called it a CG.
All right. Well, here's a question. Does the name make it worth more money? And I'm referring to Hurricane, Trick, and Blitz.
Yes, 100%. Nobody gives a fuck about a trick, okay? It just
why not just call your tricks Hurricane then if they're all the same thing?
That's what I'm saying. It would make everything.
No, don't do that.
Guys, in my opinion, Hurricanes are nicer.
That line has been.
That's psychological, buddy.
You're right. You're right.
They were line bred better, bro.
You're right. You're right. You
better.
are right. You are.
I like that. I like to hear that shit. You're right.
I can't disagree with that but I have a Blitz hypo and I put it into pinstripe and it does look. Those ones did look more crazy than like a lot of the Blitz pinstripes that I've seen out here. Like, it depends on the animal, maybe, as where you started from, I mean, there has been a lot of Trick, a lot of Blitz, but my Blitz that I have, the babies, she doesn't look that great, but the babies are crazy.
Hans did an amazing job with his lineage, bro. I'm telling you. And then
could we say that? Could we say that they did an amazing? Could we say then they did an amazing job with the Scrambler then? And that's just part of the orange dream.
Hold up. Before we switch, Hans did an amazing job with his line, and then you had the best people buy into the project, right? With some of the best animals.
Yes.
Guess what happens? You make the animals even better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing that I brought up the other day in a group chat with some people. If it wasn't for the fact that Hurricane was $7,000, we would have never have seen a Blitz clown. People would not have put Blitz or Trick in a clown, but they put Hurricane into it because Hurricane was such a large investment. As far as I'm aware, Ben has done the work on it at RGI. I thought all three genes are the same thing, and you're arguing that one might be better than the other? I just don't think that's the same thing as the same. There could be little enhancer genes in there, little polygenes that make things better, but they've all been said to be the same.
Yes, Dave, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but everything I've seen, Hurricane-wise, is better than Trick.
I think that's psychological.
Well, hold on. Can't we just compare?
It's a placebo effect, buddy. Placebo effect.
Man. Listen, I've been looking into getting Trick or Hurricane into my puzzle stuff. I've been looking for a super Trick or a nice super Hurricane, something nice, something really nice.
I want to know what they all look like in a super form. That's all we have to do.
I've seen super Tricks in person, and I couldn't buy it. It wasn't nice enough.
Levanch is in the chat just said super Hurricanes are nuts. Okay,
How
so
about
are
this?
super Blitz nuts or super Trick nuts, whatever the fuck you know.
Dude, Dave, hey, listen, I know for a fact because I found out where the animals went to, and you got them over there. That Blitz shit, that crazy Blitz stuff.
You talking about the double D's, buddy? The double D's?
Yeah, dude. She had some crazy Blitz shit, dude. Them things are crazy. I tried to find out where that's because what happened was I'm like, man, I got a hypo Blitz. Maybe I want to work that because her shit was so badass. I'm like, man, I got to find out what she did with all that stuff. And then it's like, oh, I sold it all to Dave.
So that was a relationship with my girlfriend and her that they did that together. And you know what we've done with almost all that? Paint. We painted it all, buddy. Put paint with every last one of them.
That's going to be crazy.
Now, God, dude, we didn't talk much about paint, and I wanted to bring paint up tonight because you got some people out there. I mean, I would say paint for overall is really excited about. We got some people who don't give two shits about paint also.
I
don't know where you stand with paint, and is it in your collection?
I don't have any, but I like it.
I like paint. Is there another name for paint? I know there has to be.
Yeah,
there's 5 names for paint, buddy. 5 names.
Chun had some name that
shoot him.
5 names, bro. That's fucking
Speckle.
What?
There's a speckle. Look at the speckle. That's the paint project. The Neo, I think Neo's probably going to be paint. That's an old Ralph Davis thing. That's still being messed with. It came up recently.
Yes.
Then you have, what's the other one that starts with an S?
Sentinel.
Sentinel.
I hate that name. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That just bothers me.
Yeah, and there is one other one. It starts with like a K or something like that, but it looks like it's going to be the same thing.
Oh,
The key.
Not Key.
I don't know.
What is
I'm
it?
not really good with African names.
Hey, I like some paint stuff, but it's just not for me.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I don't
not for
have
you
any
because you
either.
haven't seen the right paint yet.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's just mental.
See, this goes back to the whole logic of the fact that if Hurricane wasn't $7,000, you wouldn't see so many pairings because everybody quit on Trick as soon as they put in a Lemon Blast.
To be honest,
Nothing else happened after that because it was a worthless gene. And that also goes back to Dan Wolf selling his entire collection with the Rio stuff, the Trick stuff,
Oreo
Black
and Rio.
Lace. A lot of those values came down on a lot of those projects because he auctioned off his collection
Yeah.
and nobody really invested in them anymore.
I know.
When was the last time you saw a Rio?
Rio? And I know a guy that invested big in that Oreo or Rios things, but he never really put it to work too hard.
Just need to find the right pairing.
People give up on shit too quick, bro.
Yeah. And if it's not worth money, because, we talked about paint too recently. For a while, their paint was giveaway.
Oh, man,
$200, take it. Nobody wanted it.
$200.
Exactly. It took the right pairing, and I go back to Wrecking Ball, I'm sorry. Granted, Mary did that Calico yellow belly paint, changed the whole paint game. All of a sudden, people started taking paint a lot more serious.
Dave, speaking of
I don't
projects
like the
that were
paint
just
clown.
speaking of projects that were just left behind, bro. You know what I'm excited to put into my True Ghost puzzles down the road and my puzzles?
Lavender.
I love your going True Ghost puzzle, by the way.
Hey, Typhoon.
The fuck's a Typhoon?
I think it's Blitz.
Oh God, dude.
Oh, Typhoon is Blitz?
Shut
No,
up.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
Typhoon is pretty dope. It's just there wasn't a real nice super, was there, Dave?
Not that I'm aware of. Typhoon didn't come to go. I know people are still messing with Typhoon, but it's got like squiggles on the side, right?
Yeah, it was given up on pretty much.
How many fucking jeans have swivels on the side though? Come on, are we serious right
Typhoon
now?
was a thing from
Let me look that
Billy
up.
that was in his hypos.
Yes.
And I don't really know much about it. I want to see it, all the different layers of that too.
I'm gonna send you a picture tomorrow. I have a Typhoon double head TG female that's fucking dope.
And who'd that come from, Emilio?
It came from Tim Bailey's Lineage, but my original Ghost Head Exanthic came straight from Tim Bailey. So I feel like those two animals created I believe my TG is Super Typhoon because of the head.
So
I don't know.
I don't think there's a project that can't be relevant that got overlooked 20 years ago. A lot of stuff, even Spotnose, we got away from it because the super form was wobbly. We gave up on it.
Dave hates Spotnose. He does not like Spotnose.
I like Spotnose, bro. I'm Spotnosing like crazy.
Every time I hear every time I hear Spotnose and Dave on a podcast, it's talked in a bad light.
So Mary sent me those today. That's the cinnamon paint clown.
That's a dope.
Wow.
That's fucking
Filled
awesome.
in the sides with a lot of pattern, which I really dig because normally the cinnamon clowns are so reduced pattern. The fact that all that's on the side, it's almost doing a lot of the work that Yellow Belly and other genes will be doing for you in your clown combo.
Super Hurricane kind of looked like that too in a clown.
That's
Don't
nice.
say things like that, bud.
Hey, that's really nice, and it's
I'm just
different.
saying it like it is, man. Like I told you, if I put my foot in my mouth, it is what it is. But it looks.
No, you're okay. But I agree, man.
Dave, what's dope about that animal is that I can't remember anything that looks like that.
That's the thing, man. And the thing, there's not really any of that paint clown stuff out there. We don't really know what it's going to do yet. I kind of like that, man. I'll be honest.
You know what's really crazy too? Like Ralph Davis used to have some really cool animals, like they kind of look like that. And I went digging, trying to go into forums and man, I wish sometimes I want the deleted pictures I had on my phone, pictures I had saved on my computer, because man, there's stuff like you just don't see them anymore. And I know Ralph Davis he's still got a few snakes over there that there could be, he's got some newer projects that I don't think we've seen them.
Yo,
I remember a few animals that he
He
had.
has to be. You would.
And
you
I
would
don't
think.
really know what happened to him. And I used to talk to him quite a bit, but like now I haven't for some years, but I know he's got some stuff over there.
yo, shout out to Chad. I really truly believe Chad is gonna get Ralph Davis on this network. I truly believe that.
Don't tell Dave that he's gonna be pissed.
Who's going to get him on here? Chad, who?
I'm not going to be pissed, but here's the thing. I talked to Chris the other day. He had Ralph Davis lined up for his Patreon group, and he never showed up. Skip the podcast. The guy's elusive, man.
That's not. Yeah, but that's not the same person. I'm sorry.
Not
I
Chad.
know it's not the same person, but it's the same generation of breeders.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
This is trap talk.
Yo,
also.
so-
I mean, I
Whole
remember
other level.
hey man, I remember when like 2003, 2004, Ralph Davis come to the Tinley show with these big glass displays and all these badass animals and like literally pulling like big wads of cash falling all over out of the pockets, backpacks full of cash, dude.
That
Like it
motherfucker
was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody has a Ralph Davis G-string laying around, you want to send it to me, I'll give you my address. Just give me a call.
There's a picture, right? Isn't there a picture floating around of a Ralph Day? I think it might even be on his Facebook still, but like he would hang him up over his.
I might be able to find one of them for you, Dave.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Yeah, he used to sell those behind his table, man.
I'll talk to a guy that used to be like really close with him. That's out of snakes. That I bought his rodent racks and stuff. He might have something like that laying around.
Yeah, I did send Ralph a text message asking for a G-string. He didn't reply. So, and then I think I waited 3 months to say anything else.
Dude, he has to have a box full of merch or something just chilling for sure. Like think about you think about like a nostalgic room he might have just all of old ball python memorabilia. Definitely has to have it.
Hey, we love all the pioneers, but when it comes to Ralph, that motherfucker was special, bro.
Because I heard he didn't give a fuck. Like I heard
The
he was
flexing.
Dude, he didn't care about nothing.
I love that. You know what I'm saying? That's my style right there.
Yeah.
That's I really wish I was a part of that era.
He had a partner too that was like I don't even know if I should be saying stuff like that on here.
Too bad.
You don't have to say it.
You're in too deep. Say it.
Like, he had like I forgot what his name was and everything, but he had somebody that was like a hitman, like a partner a hitman.
Damn.
Yeah, that was the guy nobody would fuck with.
His name was Lou. That's all I know.
You never say a hitman's name out loud, buddy.
And
What
like,
the fuck are you doing?
Man, like he was one of the main buyers in the lesser or the Platy Daddy, and then that Platy Daddy. The story's on Ralph's page where he got it shipped in from Africa, and the damn thing was frozen, and like they literally brought it back.
His name is Lou. That's all I
It
know.
almost died.
Crazy shit.
Dude, Kyle's gonna disappear soon.
I mean,
You know, it's one of those recessive projects that never had a chance, and it could have if it actually did something. The patternless ball python back in the day. You remember that?
yeah. Eric Markstaller and Seth Silbert still have some of that stuff.
Okay, tight.
What's it do with that? Patternless?
Yeah, Tracy Barker put a couple imports together and made a patternless. I want to say like 2002, 2004. And then in 2005, Ralph Davis posted on his website that he imported a patternless. Nothing ever happened.
Okay, what's a bigger podcast though, the Barkers or fucking Ralph Davis?
Ralph Davis.
Yeah,
Dude, listen. When I first got into ball pythons, Ralph had that forum. Literally, Tracy Barker was in there, Dave Barker was in there, Sean Bradley was in there. All these Kevin was in there. They had every pioneer that had something to do with the ball python industry was in that group.
Let me say this. Dave's not wrong, okay? For a ball python nerd like me and Kyle, yeah, the Barkers that shit's fucking like the cream of the crop, right? But Ralph Davis was that guy.
He was on a whole different level.
When we sing America, fuck yeah, that guy. Like Ball Python, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That was Ralph Davis.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
but
I got
David
my
Tracy
first-
Barker have written a book on almost every species that's relevant, and they're so broad in the community. You're talking about a ball python guy compared to somebody who's in every community.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but you know,
Dave, the sad part about it is listen,
It
a
all
lot of the
depends
new
on-
people, a lot of the new people, if you mention Tracy Barker, they don't even know who Tracy Barker is,
Or even Ralph. Not even.
or
I mean,
even
not-
Ralph,
Even
which
Ralph.
is sad. Which is
Or
sad.
even
And that's
Kevin.
why hopefully they'll come on.
or even
I
Kevin.
would watch that podcast 3 times.
Yeah.
The thing is with some of the OGs is there's no incentive anymore. They don't really care. They've had these conversations.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing about this.
And mind you guys, there's just some people who don't give 2 fucks about being on any kind of like they have nothing to prove type of thing. And at the end of the day, like if they were to come on, a show because I invited them, it's for my benefit only. It's not really like for them. It's like the fuck do like why? Like why?
Been there.
Yeah,
See, like,
exactly.
you guys
right?
probably don't
Been there,
know.
done that.
You guys probably don't know Ralph Davis like I know Ralph Davis. So like
No.
he used to have like this huge mansion, and dude, he would invite people from all over the country to go to his house for Halloween. He had these gigantic Halloween parties where he like turned his whole house into like a haunted house and shit. And they all had drinking and like crazy, like it was super cool though. Like if I could get all the photos, and man, it was. I never went because I was.
He was in Maryland, right? Or where's he?
Yeah,
at?
Maryland.
Yep. But man, he had like the craziest, coolest Halloween parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ralph
then
Davis's collection was the first reptile collection for a big breeder I ever saw in person, and it was all by luck. I bought one of his, I think like $500 US ARC vouchers that he had, like the dollar bill with his face on it.
Yep, I remember that.
And I was in Maryland playing hockey. I think Mac Robinette gave him a call, let him know that I wasn't some kind of fucking weirdo. He let me hang out in his driveway for probably like 15 minutes, and then I started talking fishing with him. He took
he's
me
a
in the
big
house
bass
and showed me
fisherman.
everything. Best time ever.
Nice.
Thank God for fishing.
Thank God for fishing. He had just bought the Banjo Minnow, and I brought the Banjo Minnow up. You guys might not know what the Banjo Minnow is.
I
It's
know what
pretty
the
fucking
Banjo
nice.
Minnow
I remember
is.
that is. Damn, that was a good time. The
Just
band-
got it in the mail. He walked in his house, came back out, ripped it out of the box, showed it to me, and then it was just casual conversation. But that was back when he had like the freak boa. Do you remember the freak boa, Kyle?
Wasn't that
It
like
was a
white
snow boa that had like an albino eye, an anery eye. The tongue was split down the middle. It was a weird paradox.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yep. I remember
Yeah,
that.
but no, I think we've all idolized Ralph at one time or another in the hobby.
Okay, let's be real. Since we're on the topic of like rock stars and legends, who was a bigger rock star, Pete Kahl or Ralph Davis?
Peacock. Well, no, they were equally. I'm equal,
Yeah.
bud.
Man,
Did
I
they
don't
ever
know.
party? Did those two ever party together? Like, were those guys ever friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was his mentor, right?
I would have paid a lot of money to be at that party.
That
I
was
think Pete actually went to those Halloween parties even.
Fuck,
believe
that would have. Nobody's sleeping that night.
he was Ralph's mentor, correct?
Dude, no way, bro.
I don't know if Pete was his mentor, but when you look at the region where Pete lived and the projects he was working with, a lot of big breeders started around that region because Pete was there with those animals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does anybody ever remember 8-Ball Python?
Yes.
I remember 8-Ball.
Adam
Adam?
Refreshing.
Wysocki.
Yep.
What
I
is
bought my first lesser from him.
who is this? What is
John
this?
Piro. John Piro was another one.
Yeah. Jazz Balls.
Yep.
Remember John?
Oh man, that guy was on another level too.
I got my first Exantic from John.
Hey, Kyle, I've asked this from a few people, and you might not remember this, but I want to say in the late 2000s, a guy popped up in Michigan. I want to say his partner was a website designer. He kept his entire collection on that, what's that white shit you buy at PetSmart to put your rodents on? It's like white snow or T-Rex snow or some shit.
This was like
Yeah.
the Diamond Soft.
Maybe Diamond Soft. But he had his entire collection on Diamond Soft, and all of a sudden he showed up. He had this beautiful website, and he had like every high-end snake you could imagine when there wasn't that much on the market yet, and then he completely disappeared. I want to say he was in Michigan.
Was that bigger guy?
he was big money wise. He spent a lot. I just don't know how big he was.
I have a public service
I
announcement.
can't remember what his name was, but Dave, I know exactly who you're talking about. He was friends with Barcheck and he was friends with Brad Boa and all them. He had like huge, gigantic lavenders. That one Tinley, they sold the whole collection.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I forgot what else. He's got other businesses too, but I can't remember what they were.
Amelia has
I know
a
website design was part of it, and honestly, at that time, I think he had the nicest website in the industry.
Hey, I got a public
Thomas
service announcement.
Raspoptis?
Maybe, man. I just remember the website and the animals.
Hey,
Thomas Raspoptis.
quit fucking around. Amelia has a PSA, okay?
Hey
It's
guys,
important.
anyone out there that vends shows, don't use that shit in your fucking displays. All right?
What
You
shit?
You can't see the fucking animal. All right?
They bury themselves in there.
Yeah,
and stuff.
bro. There's people that use that product, but
What
like
is
in
it?
different colors. You can't see the
Oh,
fucking animals.
yeah. It kind of fucks it
If
up.
you can't see the animals, no one's gonna buy it. Stop.
I
Please,
agree.
Thank you.
You can't go wrong with just a nice flat surface.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Alpha
actually had a
Drive.
guy.
Love Alpha Drive.
Or white. You have the white stuff, right, Dave? You use the white broken up stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Alpha Drive. Junior from JMG put me on that stuff.
Now,
Yeah,
did you ever
thank
see the liners you can buy, just like your cage liners? They have
Yeah.
liners for the displays.
Yeah.
I
need those.
have those. I put there. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You got to have like a needle to pull it off, but it looks cool. So what I did was I had a guy that was on Facebook that he printed my logo on a plastic sheet with a 3D printer. He made like things you can drop in there. But I always put like one of those cage liner things underneath. It's a pain in the butt if they piss though, because then it suctions to it.
Yeah.
Because it's a
And
piece
it
of
goes- it
plastic.
goes all the way
But
through.
it looks super cool.
Yeah.
Guess what? I use the best paper towel in the game,
And
and
that's it.
it's nice and fast, clean, and
Yeah.
people see the animal 150%.
Is it brawny?
Nah, it's a Viva.
Viva. Viva's the shit. I use Viva too. That's my shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Never heard of
Guess
it.
what? Guess what? It's clean. It's clean in 2 minutes and ready to go again.
Dave, I don't think you ever bought an expensive paper towel in your entire life. No expense.
They have it at the Dollar Tree?
No.
Nah. The Dollar Tree is now what? 150 or some shit? Is
125, buddy, but soon.
So, Kyle, can we ask your overall feelings where you think sales are going to be headed going in 2025? Are we on the up, you think, overall in the ball python game?
You know, Justin was on a show here a while back, and I talked about the numbers. One night I sat up for probably 6 hours, and I looked at every single snake on Morph Market, and then I had price breakdowns of like how many snakes between $0 and like $500, and like I had everything broke down. And I think we really need to focus on getting a lot of the lower end pet animals. Okay, for instance, Ghana balls, import baby ball pythons. Petco is selling a normal ball python a lot of places or whatever for like $80. We need to. It's a sad thing, and I don't want to say it, but like, okay, everybody kind of like learns, and sometimes we kill things, okay? So like, I think we need to lower the prices on those really, really super low end animals and get them more into pet homes so that we can spark some more interest and get some more people. With people not being able to afford certain animals, like, I mean, they're literally selling Ghana baby ball pythons for like $5 to $7 a piece, but they're $80 or $60 at the pet store. Let's lower those to $20 so that more people can get them.
Well, normals were $20 pre-COVID. COVID drove that price up on normals on people's table because of supply and demand. Because the demand came in so high. I get what you're saying. I don't know if anybody's trying to make normals, but I did see somebody post on Facebook, and they put it as a negative. They had $45 clown males and pastel clown males for $45.
Did you see that Canadian breeder where they gave away? They were literally like free to good home, and they had like 30 animals. They were just literally giving them away, morphs. Like,
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Whoa.
There's investments, and then there's the pet market. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
Eventually, investments are going to be pets.
Yeah.
You made that
There's
comment
also-
earlier.
there's also a feeder market, whether you want to admit that or not. There is a
What's it called?
A feeder market
for the ball pythons to be fed to
Like-
other
like-
animals.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
hey, guys, real quick before we get into that,
I'll look into that.
I've
We're
heard
not talking
that
about
we
that.
are importing less and less ball pythons from Africa every
Yes,
year.
and Dave Kaufman talked about that in his ball pythons in Africa thing on YouTube, where
Yeah.
like it's also crippling their economy over there because
Why would you import a normal when you could get pastels in the US CBB pastels for, I don't know, $10, $15, $20?
Because localities are going to make a comeback.
Yeah. So we're importing, the market corrects itself. Right? So we're importing a lot less. That's from what I've heard,
Well, I don't know if they're importing less because they're not collecting less. I think it's just a matter of the demand went down here. We didn't need them as much.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many ball pythons are coming out of Africa, but I thought at one point it was 60,000 babies a year nationally, not just in the United States.
Yeah, there's people feeding, byproducts.
Keep on going back to feeding snakes.
Yeah.
How many people have king cobras out there? 5? What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I mean, there's Trimarchons, there's venomous, there's a bunch of shit in the snakes.
Birds, monitors,
chickens.
Yeah. They all need ball pythons in their diet. That's
put a snake.
No,
in a chicken
it's more
cage.
rampant than what people think, bro. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know. Everything kind of has. I mean, look at all the different animals you feed rodents to, too.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you see a lot of people who have a bunch of different species usually feed off their ball pythons that don't make it to a bunch of different animals.
Miguel even does that. He shows all the deformed ones and everything.
So does Emilio. He's no stranger to showing off pictures of his Dramacon eating a fucked up ball python.
Yep.
So Kyle, you pay a lot of attention to the marketing. You've been in the hypo clown game for a long time. What were hypo clowns 8 years ago? What were they 3 years ago? What are they today?
8 years ago, I think they were probably like $5,000 to $6,000.
Okay. Did they ever drop and then come back up again, or have they been steady?
They did drop to like 3 years ago. They were about $3,000, and like right now we're seeing hypo clowns and males are like a regular hypo clown or a pastel hypo clown or an enchy hypo clown. Males we're seeing in like the $200 to $400 or $200 to $500 range.
Hello?
Females were those basic ones. We're seeing females that a regular hypo clown female like right around $500 to $700 depending on where you get it from. But I will tell you this: not all hypo clowns are created equal. I can show.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of the OG hypo clowns, and they're just not the same. You don't get the same colors.
I want to say that's the case for any morph in a sense. Like there's there's all levels to the quality of morph that you're working with, I feel like. And some are a lot different than others. And you're definitely right with the hypo. There's so many different levels to a good quality hypo. But there's also a good quality clown out there too. Like you got people who make some fucking crazy looking normal clowns. I'll tell you that much. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously they're het influenced too, probably, but still the normal looking clown just isn't so normal looking nowadays.
Yeah, but like those ones you showed me on Instagram, those man, that one animal's crazy. Like I don't know if it's Motley. I don't really know what that. Those are crazy.
I haven't heard of that gene in a long time. Motley.
Yeah, I had some weird animals from an animal that I bought from someone to a regular het clown, and me and Kyle have been examining them, and either they have Motley in them or they have blackhead. We just have to.
They're crazy. Like them are crazy looking animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Motley. I'm gonna send it over to MJ, but I believe Motley pop up in some clown stuff just by chance. I read Ben had a funny looking pastel spot nose male het clown, and he had a normal female as pa's head, and this is a while ago. Put them together just to make bullshit for pets. Hit on clowns, and the clowns both came out very peculiar, and I think it's got to be Motley. I don't know if you got that image.
I like it.
Dave, do you
That's
remember
cool.
the pastel spot nose clowns that Ben made, and he couldn't figure out why they were so different? Like
I know what you're talking about.
He had one animal that looked like a super pastel, but that was not possible in the pairing.
Well, you know, the problem with Ben's collection, in all honesty, is there were so many little subtle genes in there that he didn't realize.
Yep.
And honestly, every year something new pops out. Guaranteed you're going to make something weird. And I've been saying it for years, Desert Ghost. I've got Desert Ghost that I held back. Desert Ghost that popped up in Desert pairings. So I think a lot of his foundation animals, he must have had a het DG in there. He held back so many animals over the years that almost everything in his collection could possibly be het for DG.
I do want to tell one story about Ben Rennick, and you were there too, Dave. Remember that time we all went to the Pad Thai and they ate that hot food, and like Chad Hulker, he ate that hot food and then he drank all the juice. And like he told me on the way home from Tinley on the drive home, he's like, man, I had to stop and like it was burning bad. Like
I think me and him were racing to see who could eat it the fastest.
And then
he won, of course, because I'm a pussy.
Pay for the other person.
Exactly. But Barcheck was there when we walked in that place, wasn't he? Like off to the side at a little table with a few people?
I think so, but man, I took some bites of that and like, man, your whole face was lit up. Like it was like poof, and it took you back. That was hot.
Yeah, I remember that, man. I was I think I was drunk enough to get through it, but I usually don't do spicy foods.
No,
yeah, that was the time when you had the light up shoes and you were in the back of that. We were in the back of that van with no seats.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like Bob Boo's van.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Kyle. I do tell this story a little bit, but I think my favorite meal with you is when you bit into that piece of pork and just had a look of disappointment on your face.
What?
Do you know? But do you want me to tell the story? Or?
Tell the story, buddy.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me you found a piece of hair or something, please.
No, this is a weird thing, and my grandfather had it, and I have it, and I don't know if anybody else has it. But okay, so pork, I can bite into pork, and I can basically tell by the taste of the meat if it was a male pig or a female, because a male pig, listen, a male pig, they piss all over themselves. It ain't no different than a buck when it's in rut. And if you kill a buck that's in rut, sometimes they're so amped up in their adrenaline.
They're pissing themselves.
Hold
on.
They piss all over themselves. It gets in the meat.
And you can taste the piss in the meat.
You can taste the difference between a male pig and a female.
Oh my
God. Someone in the chat correct me. I'm Cuban. We eat a ton of pork. I believe that if a pig is not going to be bred, they cut the testicles off.
Yes, that is true.
But
some of them
don't. They still gotta piss.
Like, I mean, old school farmers, they didn't cut the nuts off of everything. You know, they even do this now. They even take bulls, like a breeder bull, and he's a full grown animal. What they'll do is they'll cut the testicles out and they'll like they'll leave him and like basically leave him for so long and then they butcher them.
Trap Talk talking about fucking testicles.
Wild, bro. This is next
level. Get all that nut out of that taste.
Wait, I want to go back. Hold on. I love bacon. I eat a lot of I eat
It's
pork.
no different than basically flushing a marijuana plant and not leaving all the nutrients and all the fertilizers you have in the plant. You don't go smoking that crap.
Can we go? Dude, don't tempt me. Dude, can we please go back to like what it is that you're looking for to determine that you're eating a male pig that could potentially pissed in the meat?
You don't know. You don't know by the look of it. You can tell by the taste of it.
That's what I meant. What are we tasting for? What does it taste like?
Man, it just freaking tastes terrible.
Dude,
absolutely like you want to spit it out. It's so bad.
I've never had that. I've never had bacon or pork like that. I mean, maybe a couple times,
bacon is really hard to tell, but pork, like pork chops or pork steak,
So, okay, let me ask you this. If you were to come visit me and we're like, hey, Kyle, come over for breakfast, and I had a bunch of bacon on the table.
No
you'd be
bacon, you wouldn't be able to tell. Pork sausage,
But you would eat it?
couldn't
Would you eat
tell
the bacon?
either.
Would you eat the bacon?
Yeah, because you can't tell in bacon.
So
It's
you're
got to
okay
be
with that.
like a pork chop or a pork steak that I can tell the difference in the
Okay.
meat.
I only really
Damn,
eat
look
bacon.
at that,
so.
bro.
I mean,
We
I don't know
learned
if you
something
guys
new
have ever
today.
had venison. Like, okay, if you shoot a doe, a female deer, or if you shoot like a buck in rut, there's the hormones and everything is amped. The meat tastes different.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So
Tastes manly,
it's,
buddy.
it's the same thing
Wild.
with the pigs.
But commercially grown animals for us in the US, I would imagine that they fight those impacts on the meat by processes.
You'd want
Are you
to.
cutting the nuts off?
You'd want to
Yeah,
think.
I've never been able to taste the difference.
Yeah, I've had a
Oh
lot of
man,
pork
I
chops in my
can.
life. Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, have you ever cut the nuts off a pig?
No, I haven't.
It's really interesting, man. So you slit the sack and you don't cut them out. You got to yank them out, man. You got to break in it. If you don't just rip them out and break it, they bleed out. So you
do
can't
the fear
cut
factor.
them. You got to pop them.
And you know, this reminds me of when my friend's dad said he didn't want any more kids, and he took one of the bull banders and he put it on his nutsack.
That's so Wisconsin, buddy.
All right, we're gonna switch gears.
Him and his wife got in a big argument, and that's what he did
Hey,
one night.
hey, I don't think the ball python community wants to continue to hear about testicles.
So,
sure?
you'd be surprised. There's people like Dave out there.
They
Trust
do
me.
have festivals where they like
We're gonna-
eat them.
We're gonna shift gears though. We got to get to the wrap up topic point of the episode because I was gonna promise you, Kyle, we'll keep it within 2 hours. I know you have some clutches to go pull and
We gonna
whatnot.
say
Okay.
fuck puzzle again or what?
No, we've already got
Whoa.
past that.
Nah,
Oh.
hey, hold up. We could say fuck Cryptic and Krypton because the poll is 63% puzzle.
We'll save that for
37%.
your wrap up topic. Hold on, we're
Okay.
gonna
Okay.
table that because I got one last topic, and then we'll get to Emilio, and then we'll get to Dave. But at the end of the day, look, we all know there are levels to the seriousness to breeding ball pythons. I mean, it is overall fun for most people, but some people it's their livelihood, right? And also it's their outlet. Like they're trying to get the fuck out of their regular livelihood, right? But if they hear a lot of back and forth, what's the best way to really look at a gene that is worth investing in when you're just building a ball python collection, Kyle? I can hear you.
I think that you got to work with what you like, and you got to put the work into it to make it. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, right now there's all kinds of expensive animals as far as like investment animals. But if you don't, it's like anything. Like I was talking one time, I was all drunk at someone's house, and I'm talking to them about the pot plants, and I'm like, man, you gotta love it, man. Like you gotta love it. Like you really gotta love ball pythons, and like you gotta have this vision, and you gotta keep pushing and pushing and pushing. It's what you like. That's the, you know, I don't think as like somebody come into the ball python thing as like a strict investor. Like to me, if you don't like it, like I think you're fighting a losing battle. You might as well not even get into it then.
Well, those guys always have a shelf life. And, you know, when we were talking about this earlier, like, you know, I remember back at Justin's early videos in front of those like home built rack systems.
Yeah.
Very low key. And now look at them today. And, you know, even I bring up Bob Boo, and I know he's listening. You know, when you used to walk into the Atlanta show 9-10 years ago, he was the first table when you kind of came in the door. He was off to the side. He had deli cups set up how he was. And now look at him today. You know, Mary was nice enough to buy displays for me back in the day when I built displays to surprise Bob. And, you know, when you talk about people that succeed in this hobby, here's the brutal truth. Not everyone's going to succeed. Like you're saying, if the passion's not there, if the eye's not there, if the business savvy's not there, if you know Bob, if you know Justin, if you know some of these other guys that have really become successful in the last decade, it's not coincidental. Like these people are successful because they're worth that or work ethic. So you can come in and spend money, but a lot of these people who spend a lot of money, remember the Twins? Twins came in and dropped like 150 million or 100, like 1.5 million. Remember the big guys from the Carolinas, the tall guys?
Yeah,
They were around when
West
the
brothers.
scales was big.
The West brothers, them were the same guys that lost their fanny pack with 30K cash and somebody found it and turned it in at the Tinley show.
No way.
Yep. Those guys spent the money. They bought the animals. They disappeared.
And their
A lot of that's
burned down,
happened
and
over the
their-
years.
And their facility burned down, and Daniel Allison got the rest of the collection.
It
Damn.
did kind of burn down, and he did kind of get the collection.
We don't want to talk about where that guy ended up. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, hard times for some people, man. Life takes, life's life, man.
Well, my wrap up is for Dave and Kyle because we didn't get into this, and I wanted to kind of get into this.
Go Pack, go.
Dave, I've heard you say this in the past that generic. It's time for me to take some shots, just like Kyle did at the end of the last episode. Generic puzzle, diet puzzle, midget puzzle. Dave, I heard you say that it came from puzzle stock.
Did you say midget?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of midget puzzles. You want to go on about that a little? What do you mean?
Elaborate.
I diet puzzle. It's like a lesser puzzle to me, bro.
Oh,
So,
he's clowning Krypton and Cryptic.
I'm clowning it.
It went over
I
his
heard
head.
you
It's
say on a
his head.
podcast once that the Cryptic kind of came from puzzle. Puzzle parents.
No, I don't think the Cryptic came from puzzle. There's been a lot of sources for Cryptic popping up. You could start with William Morose because he was breeding so many clowns into DGs a decade ago. He was stumbling across Kryptons accidentally. Kyle, who was it in Wisconsin? Was it Bailey that was talking about a pinstripe they bred that was producing these Cryptics from an import?
Garrick.
And they were talking as a codom originally, right? Garrick, yes.
Garrick, and I bred a cypress to an a cypress to a clown, and I made Krypton. I have a Krypton cypress.
Vin Russo made Cryptic ultramelanistics for years and never knew they were Cryptics.
Chad Fuchs actually made Cryptic ultramels, and I traded the animal didn't survive. Something happened. I don't know really what happened, but she ended up dying on me when she was an adult. But I literally traded him a spotnose clown for a Cryptic ultramel, and he didn't even know that they were Cryptics. I knew it already.
Okay, so pretty much what we're saying is that even in Sean Bradley's collection with the puzzles, Vin Russo's, the shit was bouncing around.
It was all over the place. It was in the DG stuff too. That's why they had the Amur. The Amur is the same thing as a Cryptic.
Yes. I always call it the armor because I can't pronounce it right. But no, here's the thing. You're talking puzzle and Cryptic as if they came from the same source. The only person that has mixed those two together, maybe accidentally, is Ozzy.
Yeah.
Ozzy's talked about something going on where he thinks it's Cryptic within his puzzles.
The weirdo puzzles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the original stuff for that Sean was working with, because, that popped up from pastel breeding. And, long story short, I always just call we said it beforehand, the Cryptic, in my opinion, is the poor man's puzzle. It's something that popped up along the way, just happened to be there, and the obsession of clown in the industry has made a lot of Kryptons pop up because nobody realized they had Cryptics in their collection.
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
All right. So did you guys both go already? Dave, did you already ask your wrap-up question or wrap-up topic?
Dave's next.
Oh, I get a wrap-up question?
Yeah, you sure do.
For me?
No, yeah, Dave for Kyle, yes.
Okay. How about this, Kyle? Has there ever been a ball python mutation that inspired you to go a different direction with your collection?
I don't really have an answer.
Okay. Fuck that question. Let's move on. You've been burned in investments in the past. I know you bought into banana pretty high, and I know that took a plunge pretty quick.
But I made my money back.
It's all that matters, man. Was there ever a high investment that stayed high for you to really make your money back, or have you found that a lot of things you've invested in at a high number have come down too fast?
I've found out that buying animals at a lower value and putting the work in actually grew more value than to buy in at a high end pace and then try to ride it down the pyramid.
Okay.
You know, my projects I've done the best with, as far as like a financial thing, was projects that I basically started or bought stuff and made everything around it.
That's because you're a worker and you love what you're doing.
Yeah. And
You know, I mean, Dreamsicles, you know, I've talked over and over and over about getting out of the Dreamsicle project, but it's like, man, it sells good. I still like some of the stuff. So it just like, man, can't get rid of it. Like, I still got some like things in my head, like, man, I got to do this or I got to do this. And it just, I can't let it go.
Yeah.
Well, you can make a sunset dreamsicle.
That's a ball python nerd. I mean, really.
How did we not talk about sunset for 2 hours? I feel like we didn't even dabble.
Easily. I completely forgot that it even existed.
You know, I could say, you know, like I could come out and say, you know, fuck pastel, but then 6 months later I could come out and say, you know, but you know, guys, pastel does have its place.
It does.
Well, I mean,
every gene's like that. Not every gene, but you know what I mean.
You know, I mean, I just like work with what you like. You know, that's one of my main things is work with what you like. And that's the best thing about the ball pythons. There's something in every project for everyone.
Hey, we said something earlier that everything's going to end up being pets, right? Down the road.
Right.
Guess what? Right. I think I said it, but I don't think you guys caught it. And I work sunset, right? But sunsets aren't going to be pets, buddy.
Doesn't fall into that category.
You got to make a combo sunset in order to make it a pet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a straight up banana will sell over or a pied will sell over a sunset all day.
100 times.
Over. Yeah, a pied will sell over a clown all day long.
100 times over. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Well, no, there's other these balls and exotics. No, there is breeders that literally did say, you know, pastel's horrible, and then they come back later and say, you know, it has its place. You know.
Well, I don't know what its place is though.
Work
and
with
not
what
to be an
you
asshole.
Like,
I think it complements puzzle. It makes the pattern more busy, but when we're all striving for orange, pastel's going to mess that up.
You know,
did everyone just go on mute?
What about quality? Like quality? Like, okay, this is. I hear a lot of people talk about quality.
Yeah.
The thing is, quality is in a way of what you think. That's an opinion. Quality in a way is an opinion because some people like blade clowns or super blade clown combos. Some people like busy pattern clowns. So the best example to you might not be the best example to someone else. That's the beauty of polygenetics with the ball pythons. We get so many different variations within the same mutation.
I agree. I just don't think. Here's the way. I've got throwaway genes in my head. Not to be an asshole. Inchy was a throwaway gene recently, even though it was the gene in the past. I think it's a little more throwaway now, outside of the lace clowns that Justin's making right now. Lesser pastel fall in the same category. Banana's very close.
And I'm gonna say it, and I might get some shit. But guess what's next?
What's that?
Spotnose?
Spotnose? No, you're out of your mind. What do you mean?
Yeah, but you can make. Hey, listen. You don't. Hey, listen. You can make some. You can make some badass clowns with hurricane and stuff.
Let me explain.
This was tripping.
There's gonna be so much Spotnose on the market that people are gonna get tired of it.
But it has its place with certain combinations, bro. You can't.
Everything has its place, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying that the next gene for me that is gonna be super saturated, that people are gonna get like, is that gene.
That's the gene that you're predicting.
Yep.
So here's my small pushback and also advice in this whole pushback. Tri-stripe, puzzle, paint. When we find that one gene that works so good with those recessives, that everything else you put in there is better, that's going to be the driving force. Like I talk about Blitz or Hurricane in a puzzle or in paint. I love it in both. Spotnose complements the pattern on clowns so well. I think that's always going to be those two genes together, and it's going to be building on there from there.
We will revisit this in a couple years.
We can. We should. There will still be relevant Pompeys in 5 years, buddy.
Is, like, there's people that argue with me, but spot nose pieds are like high white pieds, like a spider.
All white.
Yeah, I mean.
Or all white. Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, this is definitely be something we will revisit. And this was a great episode. Before I let you guys go, especially you, Kyle, I want to know if you guys support me on a new adventure. And I don't think Dave knows about this. I know Emilio does. Kyle, I'm not sure if you do, but we all could say that we are Morph Market supporters here. We all like what Morph Market does for this industry. Correct?
I got the call.
You got the call? Yeah. Dave, what do you say? You a Morph Market supporter?
Yeah, I talk to Darian all the time, man.
I got the call. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but he's calling around to all these people.
He's called over 400 Morph Market members already.
Yep.
And he started with like the most elite and just working his way down.
Yep.
So anyways, one thing also Darian did is have me take over the social media presence of Morph Market. So starting Friday, December 6th, you're going to be having a weekly newsletter podcast from the Morph Market YouTube channel. And the reason why I want to ask if all you guys support is because I want to bring you guys on this. Like, I think this is important. I mean, because who raise your hand? Who has sold snakes on Morph Market before?
We all have.
I don't know. Dave looks confused.
Sorry, I'm on a camera, man. My hand was out of camera.
And do you guys think the future of this hobby is based off selling snakes? Period.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
The future of this hobby is off of selling reptiles because ball pythons, I mean, the hobby is not just ball pythons.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, it's reptile. That's what I meant. Reptiles. Thanks for being actual literal there, fucking Kyle. I meant reptiles. I was saying snakes, but Morph Market isn't just a place to sell snakes. It's a place to sell any reptile. Okay. It's the most visited website in the entire reptile industry. So all I'm saying is, fellas, I'm looking at bringing you guys onto this platform someday to talk relevant snake sales and stuff that's keeping you in the game. Because if it wasn't for having successful customer base and snake sales, you guys probably wouldn't be here right now, I would say.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's all over the place right now. I'm still selling things, but my season is kind of messed up too. And I'm such a ball python nerd. I got some clutches hatching in there in the room next to me. And man, I'm going in there when we get done talking here to see what I got in there.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And listen, I know you had quite the day, but you really made up for it as far as for yourself coming on the show tonight, because it was a great episode. So guys, go give him a follow, please. Royal Ambassador Reptiles, right? Royal Ambassador.
Yeah, Sean Bradley helped me kind of do that name. He wanted just me to do the Royal Ambassador, not Royal Ambassador Reptiles.
I would have,
but I didn't have an ego like him, So like that was something for him.
Well, listen, guys, you could find Kyle's link to his Instagram account in the description below. Go give him a follow, please, because like I said, his work is nothing but top quality. And looking forward to having you back on the show someday, Kyle. I really mean that.
In another week.
Easy, buddy.
And I'm glad you got Dave on here too, because like I said, I remember the first time I met Dave, and it's this crazy clown with a bam and pow on the biceps, and he's showing all these people in the freaking lobby, and he's like, check this shit out. And then he's Jewish, and he's got Jew life on his stomach. And then there was a guy in the hobby named Joe Ellis.
Joe Ellis.
And remember that? He had to he put his face right by Dave's, because Dave has a tramp stamp. And like Joe Ellis had to get photos with his face like right next to the tramp stamp, and it was like a big thing.
Yeah, the Josie ball.
Josie ball, Mario. But
Mario, I love you said that, buddy. We gotta talk more.
I mean, man, like those Tinleys, like we're getting old. That's what it is,
Yeah, this is definitely before my time.
I mean, I don't know if Dave, do you remember that other guy that was in the lobby there too? That Gavin?
Vaguely. What happened
Like,
with that
man,
guy?
I remember like he had some disease and he ended up passing, but he was like super into reptiles. But man, his whole thing was to stay up the latest. Like everybody else had to go to sleep. I mean, there was times where I went to sleep and I woke back up and I'm like waking up and it's like 7, 8 in the morning. I don't think the guy slept the whole damn time he was at the show.
Probably didn't want to miss anything, buddy. That's why I stay up late also.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
man.
I can only
But
imagine
I mean,
there was an influence. I'm just saying.
it was a good time. And you know, like the most thing, you know, I'm not like a big social media guy either. Like, you know, I do post once in a while on Instagram, but Facebook is kind of a thing of the past for me. I use Facebook chat to people, but other than like that, I don't really use Facebook religiously anymore.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, go pull your clutches. Okay. Have a good night. All right, guys, give it up. It's a wrap for
Yep.
Kyle Hoffman, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Thank you guys. Thanks for getting me on here.
Later, Kyle, man. Thanks for keeping it real,
Yep.
bro. Have a good night.
Yep.
Peace.
See ya.
All right, here we go. Final thoughts. We'll start with Dave. What do you think, buddy?
I enjoyed it. You know, as much as I can be fussy about talking ball pythons sometime, goddamn do I love talking ball pythons.
I mean, it's definitely your element.
Yeah,
Sad.
For me,
Sad.
for me, what I can tell you is I love talking ball pythons. It becomes repetitive at times, but with these two guys, bro, these are two of my favorite people out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I fucking had a hell of a time.
And listen, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people out there, if you talk ball pythons to them, their history kind of makes the whole topic feel different. And, you know, anytime you're on this show, Dave, even though you're definitely well known in other species in the game, ball pythons is something that gets your motor going, buddy. Like if you have the right person on this show, and you know, like for instance, and I really highly suggest, and we need this round 2. What was the road trip episode you did? What was the name? Can you tell me the annual road trip?
Oh, you're talking about protect your balls?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have one coming up. Justin is jumping on our next one, our Christmas edition.
That's priceless. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're using this phone. This is the best audio quality you've done on this on Trap Talk since ever even coming around. So thank you.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Picture quality was all there. But yeah, look, okay, before we let Dave go, Emilio, what'd you think of tonight's episode?
Well, again, I'll reiterate. These are two of the people I respect the most in the game. I really like them. They're great people, funny as hell, entertaining, honest. This is what it's all about, bro. Entertaining, fucking entertaining and making people better.
Yeah.
You know, throwing out facts and just inspiring people to be in the fucking game 20 years.
Right. Inspiring is what matters.
What are you doing? You fucking stripping?
Getting comfortable, buddy. That cheese hat was hot, man. That thing's like foam, not the breathing kind either.
You wore that the whole time. I'm not shocked either. But I appreciate you too. Always, Dave, it's been too long, and I'm looking forward to your Christmas episode, which we got to make sure we have. What are you doing about tomorrow, buddy? You have a show that's supposed to roll
Yeah,
out
I've got Nick Mutton and William Philippek tomorrow.
11 a.m.
I think, yeah, you're 11 a.m. your time.
Yeah, and you're doing live. We're gonna say fucking do live. I would say, right?
Yeah, fuck it, we'll go live tomorrow, man.
There you go. Looking forward to it, guys. But please check out Dave's podcast, the Dave Levinson Reptile Podcast. And of course, you can catch Emilio here every Monday night, New Breed on the Block. But give it up. It's the wrap for my good homies, Dave Levinson and Big E Top G, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Great episode, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Appreciate you, fellas. And thank you to everyone out there who tuned in tonight. Please get the likes up before you leave. Before you go enjoy the rest of your evening. Get the likes up right now, please. If you thought tonight's episode was great, likes need to be increased. And please consider joining the Trap Talk Patreon family if you want to tap in more behind the scenes, get more 411, get more info on the Morph Market adventure that I'm taking on. Please come join the Trap Talk Patreon family because I do all the exclusive stuff for them. There's an awesome Discord and there's awesome Instagram group chat. So connect yourself with some of the best doing it. Longevity is what it's all about with the Patreon family. We want people who are in this for the long run, man. So come join us. Love all the support, all the energy in the chats. You guys are beautiful. Okay. So be ready for tomorrow, Dave Levinson's podcast with Nick Mutton and William. It's going to be one for the books. And of course, Saturday, all Varanus vaults. All right. So if you're a tree monitor guy, you're not going to want to miss this Saturday's episode. And of course, we can't forget Girls Who Love Reptiles podcast every Sunday as well. Shout out to Krista, doing a hell of a job. But guys, thank you again for all the love and support. This episode was everything I expected. Episode 569 is in the books. That's it. Shoot it. Kobe. Have a good night, guys, and I'm out. Cheers.